that was weird. I thought it sat there. Good evening, chat. Hello, guys. How are you doing tonight? Welcome to the Thursday night show. As we do every Thursday, because otherwise it wouldn't be the Thursday show, would it? No, it wouldn't. So that's why we're here tonight, because it's Thursday. Episode 150. 150 times I've done this. And, the 3-year anniversary, this is actually coming up in couple weeks. I already looked through, I've looked through some random ones going back, and you might sit there and say, wow, you really suck back. I'd be like, wow, I really sucked back in the day. And I just look at it and go, wow, I really haven't progressed. I just have a better camera and better microphone now and more shit behind me, but it's actually the same thing still. Just the realizations when you reach milestones. But regardless, guys, 150 weeks, we have done this, rain or shine. We've done them on the road, done them everywhere. But anyways, guys, want to welcome you to the show. My name's Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I'm an attorney in the Cleveland area. Tonight, we got we still have election-related stuff to talk about tonight. We also have some kind of pretty base things happening. And then we have a couple things that are And then, we're still kind of in this spot where some of this stuff is captive. We've got something tangentially related to the RQ, the Ricada question we're going to get to, involving the Steel Toe morning show. But we'll get to all that in a second. But I do want to say, I know you guys want me to talk about the Destiny thing. I know that Cherry, and it sounds like Pixie, and some of these other people, and if you guys don't know who they are, you are so much better off for not knowing. All these leftist YouTubers and, just in the back of your head, just thinking, suffer commies. Suffer. And yes, they're commies, so they should suffer. But what Destiny did to these women is actually really, really bad. It's horrible what they did. It's horrible what a lot of the Destiny orbit apparently just let go on and on and on for a long time and swept up for. So that's something coming, but there hasn't been anything filed. There's no filings yet. Nobody's been charged. So there's not a whole lot to go over in that. So that's why I'm not really talking about it right now. It does sound like, there's some revenge pornography issues, among other things going on there, like intentional affliction, emotional distress. Who knows? We'll see when that stuff gets filed. But for right now, it's just watching the left, watching BreadTube, and a good portion of the commentary community just burst into flames. And it's I'm just standing back, just warming myself in the glow. Just warming myself in the glow of it all. It's so good. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Okay, chat. So anyways, we got some other... Meme Copium is here. How you doing, buddy? Meme Copium, guys. Josh doing Lord's work every morning from the Far East. Our man in Japan, Josh. Not that Josh. Different Josh. But the finest of Copium out there. He's been covering things and doing well out there, guys. Give Josh a hello. Also, his other channel, Inayaka Adventures, covering, the traveling about the great land of Japan and kind of showing it to you as a great travel guide. That's the other channel Josh has. Hit him up. Show him some love. Thoughts on the rumor that Obama, Barack Obama or Michelle Obama? Because I'm sorry, Barack Obama or Mike Obama? Which one? Apparently knock boots and Jennifer Aniston is proof. If Barack Obama, was knocking boots at Jennifer Aniston, good on him. I didn't know Jennifer Aniston burned coal, but okay. Happens, I guess. But yeah, good. Good for him. No, Jennifer Aniston right now, she's still a very, very good looking woman. But are we talking about Jennifer Aniston 2008? There's a bit of difference. So. Kung Fu Fish is saying, I'm legit fed up with... Also, thank you for being here. Saying, I'm legit fed up with the Destiny thing because just all the brooms scrambling to not be the worst one in the closet. Yeah. But that's... If you want to know what commies are good at, they are good at sweeping. The commies love to sweep. That's what they do. They sweep up everything. The Holodomor, the Cultural Revolution, they sweep up everything. They sweep up communism because it's never actually been tried. That wasn't really communism. So that's what they do. But that's it, guys. We are live tonight in a couple different spots. We are live tonight on Rumble. And actually, why is Rumble? Hold on here. Oh, that's why. There you go. Rumble should be turned on now, chat. Joe Schmo's over there saying YouTube's already running, but Rumble's yet to start. I just reset it, so let me know if that works. We are Rumble. We are on Twitter. There's already 103 people there. I know those are all ghosts. So, hi, Elon bots. Thank you for inflating my sense of self-worth. And then over here, last but not least, on YouTube. And actually, not last but not least, but second to last, YouTube. And then last but not least, Locals. Guys, if you don't know what Locals is, potentiallycriminal.locals.com. It's just like Patreon, except it's not retarded and it's not run by commies. So we could do what we want over there and have fun. It's a great time. You could join for free. You could post on the wall. I post things up there. We can all have a good chuckle or two. And then if you want to support me, it's $3 a month. You pay for 10 months. You get 2 months free. With those, you get the shows. You get 2 shows a week. We do a Monday night show and we do a Thursday night show. The Monday night show is from generally 9 o'clock, sometimes 8:30. Sometimes. It's supposed to be 8:30. And then we do the live show right after this one. It's a lot of fun. Get to hang out. All the stuff that doesn't really fit into the show here or things we're not allowed to talk about or show on YouTube, we go over there and do it. So if you guys were curious, you can use the promo. Actually, somebody told me this doesn't work, so I need to reset it. You can use, hold on here. You use a promo code. Actually, hold on, it should work. Promo code POTCRIM, and you get 1 month free access. And take care of that from there. And that would be my recommendation to you. It's a great time. It's a great time. So hope to see you guys there. Once again, it's a promo code POTCRIM, and you will get 1 month free access. No obligation after that. Hope to see you there tonight. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So where are we? Yeah, use the promo code Galaxy Gas. Oh no, chat. Oh, hold on here. Somebody says it's not working. Hold on, we're gonna have to fix that real quick. Payment setup. Oh, PotCrim. Oh, it went to new. Oh, it did just expire. Okay, so we're gonna have to add a code. We're gonna have to add a code. What can we do? I don't want to do Galaxy Cast. Oh. Okay, so we'll start. We'll make this start today. And we'll make this go till we'll do 4 months. So there we go. All right, chat. We actually can do it if you use the promo code. I need to fix this here. Hold on, a little live TV here. Use the promo code PARDON. You get 1 month free, chat. The promo code PARDON, you will get 1 month free. Oh, 1 month free, everybody. Use the promo code PARDON. We will not use Galaxy Gas. Because I don't want to encourage that. That's not good stuff for your brain. That literally fries your brain and kills you. So don't do Galaxy Gas. All right, guys. So we normally wait about 10 minutes. So we're going to give another minute or two for people to get in here just because YouTube sucks with the notifications. Evie says, I've been gifted again. Love it. Well, congratulations. Glad. Use the code sandwiches. Yeah. No. Oh, okay. What else is there? Jim, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Garrett says the code $2 cancel. We can't. That doesn't work anymore. That does not work anymore. All right, chat. So we got to get some things first here. Amateur Iconoclast says for $5, let's see the doggos. And it's funny because Clyde was in here and I held him and he's like, right before we started, he's like, nah, I'm good. I want to go see what 2.0 is doing. So he's like, put me down, fat man. And I'm like, all right. So he'll come back at some point during the show. That's a shame. Says, bring the dogs, fat man. Said with love, of course. Of course. Thank you. That's a shame. Hope you're doing well out there. And Parallax, who's been a member for 27 months. I think I transed him about that long ago, too. You've been trans for quite a while. Turned him into a Janny. 150, the same number of sandwiches you ate this week. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know. You gotta set ascertainable goals, man. That's how this works. You gotta set goals. Have to set goals. But thank you for the support. 27 months. That's fucking crazy. I love it. I love it, chat. And then we got Hunch the Dirty Roofer with 10 subs tonight. Let's go, chat. Let's go. See this, Grays? Do you see this? You see what this means? This says not welcome here. It says not welcome here. That's what it means. That's what it means. Not welcome here. Thank you, Hutch, for your support. I appreciate it. And then Costi. It's good to see you, man. It's been a little while. Gifting 20 subs, chat. 20. Oh, he's just climbing the clock tower, and he's just dropping every gray he can find. It's like Eamon Guth. Just everyone he can find, he's taking them down. Just forcibly turning him green. So it's good stuff out there. Good stuff. All right, we're gonna get going, chat. We're gonna do the first things first. Soon Sean gonna have his own version of the Crip Walk. It'll be the Green Walk. Oh no, that won't be good. All right, guys. So first things first, we have the Rekieta question, the RQ, and it's not about Nick. I mean, he does go in for his plea deal tomorrow. Looks like he's going to enter a plea. We don't know what to yet. We'll find out. I think we'll find out all together, but, good for him. We'll take care of it. We'll cover it when it happens next week. I mean, I don't think it's going to be anything earth-shattering, so I'm like, we'll see. But in the meantime, we do have another party involved in the Rekieta saga, and it's not Kayla, and it's not April, but it's Aaron Imholte, also known as Aaron Imholte. I hope that shows up now because that shows up in his on the police think it's his computer, like Aaron Imholte, aka one of his aliases of the Steel Toe Morning Show. Yes, in chat, if you guys don't know the story about that, when Nick decided to basically light everything on fire to go fuck it, suck, and do coke, casting it all away. He hung out with April and Aaron because they were on the Steel Toe Morning Show, and they were husband and wife, and they did a little bit of like couples docking. We know there was some swinging going on and some swapping going on, and probably a lot more. So as things progressed through, it all kind of disintegrated, which shocker it did that. I mean, who could have foreseen that coming? And then at some point, Aaron did send to Gino Biscani, and I know some of you are like, what the hell? And I'm like, I know, guys, the dabble, like, we were kind of minding our own business. Like, well, actually, it's more like we're the conquistadors, and the Dabbleverse is like the North American Indian tribes, and we just like fucking slammed right into them. We slammed right into the Dabbleverse at full speed. Like, we're like Pizarro, we're like Cortez, and they're the Toltecs and the Aztecs, and they're just trying to get caught up to it. And we're like, who the fuck are these people? So Gino Biscani was all part of like Aaron's little world and that whole thing that we kind of ran headlong into. He allegedly sent her naked pictures of Kayla. So Aaron got charged with felony revenge porn. And currently he is facing charges. Yes. And as he famously said, your boy did good, didn't he? Your boy didn't do too bad, didn't he? Which, it's great to do. What's great to do there? The sector being the Dabbleverse is like a match made in hell. Well, it's funny because I've run into other people who, and this is very much a true thing. Like when you're in the internet, and I've said this before, I think a couple times, you are not, like, whatever group you're in, you're really not as big as you think you are or as bad as you think you are. But I will say the sector and internet blood sports and all of that is still actually considered kind of like, you know, the Eastern Front of the internet. Like it's it's a tough place. And I know IBS is gone, but even the sector still is, the sector still is pretty rough and tumble. It's a rough neighborhood. The Dabbleverse is a rough neighborhood too, but yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, go join the Folk Nation. Oh, yes. The sector's the major leagues, bish. IBS lives on. It's a skin suit at this point. So anyway, with all of that, Aaron got charged for basically revenge pornography. They have it worded differently under their laws, but it is an actual thing. And Aaron's facing charges out of Stearns County, Minnesota. That's where Aaron lives, and that's where he did it at. So that's where he's facing issues there. If you guys have not seen what that actually all means, this is something we covered way back when. We also covered Aaron's arraignment. It was actually the first time we did a Stonies read, I think was that day when Aaron got arraigned. So anyways, he's facing non-consensual dissemination of private sexual images and intentional dissemination. Not misogynation. I don't think Aaron's down with that. But it is dissemination. And intentional is a felony. And then there's non-consensual dissemination of private sexual images. Intentional dissemination of the image without consent. He's also got charged with gross misdemeanor. When there's issues about it wasn't intentional. And there's an issue about intent because it changes from a felony to a misdemeanor. So what does that mean for Aaron? Well, Aaron's case was set to go, and we learned a couple of things. So he had his pretrial yesterday, and here's what we learned. So what happened is things are set. So we have this notice. And this thing is highlighted saying, just please notify your client. That's just a notice to the attorney. Hey, knucklehead, your client's not getting a copy of this, just you. So it's coming to him. It's in the 7th Judicial District. Here's Aaron's case number. If you're looking for it, you can look it up online. And it's the state of Minnesota versus Aaron. Aaron Michael Imholte, AMI. I wonder if that goes by. So anyways, you are notified of the hearing dates. They're setting a jury trial for 2 days. 2-day trial, which isn't actually abnormal. I mean, if you think it's a very straightforward case, you would still take 2 days. In Aaron's case, it'll probably take him longer to pick a jury than it would to go to trial, but we'll see what happens there. There's also one more thing that's been set for Aaron, and that is this here, and it is a motion hearing. It's set for April 10th. I did reach out to Aaron and ask him what's going on, and he believes that there'll be some sort of resolution before we get to trial, but they did set a motion hearing for April 10th. So that sounds like dealing with motions limine, other pretrial matters. That's what I believe is going to be addressed. Jury selection, yes, Augusto Pinochet would include voir dire. So that's what I mean by jury selection is voir dire. That'd be jury selection. It'll probably take longer because it's not a super involved case. Now, like I said, I talked to Aaron. He seems to think that there will be a resolution to this. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe Aaron goes to trial. I mean, we already heard Gino and Keanu saying, I don't really want to be part of it. This is all retarded, which if you're having witnesses who aren't showing up, that can be potentially fatal to a case. We don't really know. All he did tell me was apparently they're still trying to work on things, but in the meantime, they set a trial date. I think that may have been the court actually wanting to do that. But either way, it's going to get set. We'll see what happens. And you may not like Aaron, but if you want to see Nick get felted, then you want another win for the toe. So that's how I'm looking at it. That's James says, and they're out of state. Yeah, it is. That's the other big issue. They're out of state. They're not even in the same county, much less the same state. Gino and Keanu, I call him Ginu. It's like, Benifer. I keep doing that. They are in the Tri-County area. I think they're in New York or New Jersey. So yeah, they're pretty much gone. They're pretty much gone. They're in NY. Okay. That's what I thought. Well, they're in New York City, New Jersey. Like I said, it's all same place over there. So if Gino, Keanu, and Kayla don't testify, what are the chances of a conviction? I mean, I don't see how, like, Nick will drag Kayla into court and force her to testify. There's no way Nick is going to let Aaron get away with this if he can. I mean, that's what this is all about at the end of the day. We all know that. This is Nick reeing at the top of his lungs and weaponized using the court system because he didn't get his way. Very likely because Aaron didn't buy Nick's house when Nick was trying to leverage his debt. It's what it really sounds like, chat. And you might say that really does seem like what it sounds like, and that's probably because it's what it is. I mean, in reality, that's how those things go. So the idea that Kayla decides I don't want to testify, there is not a world in where I see Nick going, okay, that sounds fine, honey. It's gonna be like, no, you have to testify. He's the steel man. He's the steel toe man. He's so bad. He's so bad. Kayla, he's gonna be like, Kayla, he ate my goo. For some reason that's still a big sticking point. Aaron eating your spunk doesn't really change the rest of what's going on in the world out there. I'm just saying it doesn't change any of the other facts of any of the other matters involved. And that said, though, I could see. I did tell Aaron I did have a proposal. I think that might work. That they get together and they have a trial. They have a duel. They have trial by combat. Nick versus Aaron. And what are the weapons? Well, it's not going to really be weapons, but they're both given a baldo. And they're told whoever can put the baldo on the other guy first wins. And you know what's going to happen. They're both going to just... It's going to be like one of those Dragon Ball Z things. They're going to be like, ah! And there's going to be just a maelstrom of hands and grabbing. They won't be able to stop each other from doing it. And it'll be interesting to see who can, it'll be like goat roping. It'll be like a goat roping standoff. So I think that's what could happen there. I think that I told him that'd be a very good one to recommend. I think it would be great. And we can make it even more comfortable for him, like a familiar thing. We can throw a twister mat out on the ground. So now they're fighting in like a little tight area, a little confined area like this. So it'll be, you can't leave the square. Whoever leaves the square loses. Be like a wrestling match. Just you're fighting inside the inner circle. Instead of the big wrestling match where you got the big circle, and then you got the little circle in the middle, and then you got the box in the middle. You're just fighting inside that little area. That would be, I'm just thinking aloud here, chat. That'll be the thing. And then soon, that's going to become like the pastime of Central Minnesota is going to be baldo wrestling. Baldo roping. And it's going to, that'll be the new high school sport. Baldo roping. They'll do it at the county fair every year. Oh. But it's saying I thought Twister's multicolored circles. Yeah. Yes. But I'm talking about the actual Twister mat. No. So that's kind of my idea there. That's my idea. 2-man baldo wrestling. Yeah, there you go. I think it'll be great. It'll be great. Oh. Nick would cheat and cover himself in baby oil. Yeah, you know what though? Like that would be I'm sure Aaron would be like, "Oh, darn. You're just so slippery, Nick." I'm sure that would make him so sad. And Hypnotoad says, yes, Worski is in a talk with Keemstar to set up a fight, which that would be hilarious because Keem can make it happen. Keem can get things arranged. It would be very interesting to see it. And I totally would watch it because, yeah, they're both at the same height. So there isn't going to be a reach issue. I mean, there probably will be a skill issue there. So it'd be very interesting to watch. It would be very interesting to watch. I'd love to, I would actually probably, if they do it in the United States, I'd be like, I think I'd go to that fight. I think I would go to that fight. Tia Nina is saying it's looking like one of those bachelorette party games. Yeah. So that's it, really, guys, for the Aaron situation tonight. I know Aaron's going to get mad about I spilled the beans on the Baldo game. Aaron's probably like, Aaron's already thinking like I could franchise that and sell it to bars, and he's going to go to Stoney's every night and do that instead of just Naked Twister. And it's like, I'm sorry, Aaron, I couldn't keep it to myself anymore. Squizgar says, you sound way too enthusiastic about seeing Nick and Aaron wrestle naked. Well, you seem to notice how much I'm noticing it. So what's that say about you? What's that say about you? Maybe it's you who want to see them wrestle naked. Maybe it is. Maybe it's you. If Walls is governor, he'll make sure they get the funding for Baldo roping. Yeah. Walls is going to show up out of nowhere. They'll be wrestling, and all of a sudden we'll hear just the sound of glass shattering. We're like, my God, it's Governor Walls! He's coming out! And he's naked! He's coming out with a t-shirt cannon full of tampons, just shooting them everywhere. Oh my God, that'd be so fucking funny. Oh, that'd be so funny. And then both Aaron and Nick are both like cowering in the corner in fear. Holy shit, I just crack myself up as I go here. I crack myself up as I go. So. All right. All right, chat. We're going to move on. We're going to move on from here. All right, so that's kind of the big update as far as things go. Review the earth tone shirt, Sean. What do you mean? What? I don't get it. Oh, I thought cockfighting was banned in the U.S. Well, we'll go to an Indian reservation and do it. They have those in Minnesota. That counts. You can do it. You're allowed to do whatever you want on a reservation. The rules don't apply. All kinds of crazy shit happens on the res. So, Ralph is color commentator. That would be great. That would be perfect. Also, is Kurt here? I don't see you. Well, somebody said, Kurt, if you're here on Civil Law, hello, Kurt. Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope you're doing well. Oh. All right, guys. So moving on from there to the bigger things that happened this week. We have the pardons. The pardons came out in between this Thursday and last Thursday. A flurry of pardons hit the world like a ton of bricks. And they started off with some interesting pardons. Interesting pardons. And one of those pardons was one that I was totally expecting. Two of them I was actually, I'm expecting all three of them. I know some people thought I was crazy when I said it, but the first one is the pardon of Dr. Fauci. The pardon for Dr. Fauci. So this one is a pardon from Joe Biden, as he signed it here. And this is the actual one from the Department of Justice. You can go look it up because they have them. And this is the grant of clemency. Oof. Grant of clemency. It's Joseph R. Biden, President of the United States of America. He says, be it known that this day I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States, pursuant to my powers under Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the Constitution. And remember, chat, that's where this comes from. It's a constitutionally derived power. It's not statutory. It is constitutional. So it's a power that's been around. It's a power that's been around since the Constitution was enacted. So what does he do here? He grants unto Dr. Anthony S. Fauci a full and unconditional pardon. A full and unconditional pardon. For any offenses against the United States which he may committed or taken part in from the period of January 1st, 2014, through the date of this pardon arising from or in any manner related to his service as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, the NIAID, and as a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force or the White House COVID-19 response team, or as chief medical advisor to the president. And it says in testimony thereof, I've signed my name here, and it's done the 19th of January and the year of our Lord, because Christ's King, 2025. So January 19th, 2025. And of the independence of the United States, the 249th. So 249 years old, America, which means we're coming up on the 250th birthday. And this is the seal. Shows it's all official. And now people were freaking out about this. Guys, it's called an auto pen. Like, things are automatically signed. It's considered legitimate. Biden accepts it as a signature. He intended for this to look like that. So, yes, it's not exactly his signature, because his signature gets all Michael J. Foxy because he's got, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And apparently, like, the B part right here is like all like, when he signs it. But no, it's a valid signature. People were like, oh, that doesn't count. No, it counts. It counts. He made his mark. Or the people authorized to make his mark made his mark for him. Now, from here, chat, what the hell are you guys talking about? Hold on here. Oh, Hella is here? Wait, Hella's not usually here right away, so I didn't see her. Hello, Hella. How are you doing? Hella, guys, hearsay for days every Sunday at 4:30 Eastern Time. Hope you're doing well, Hella. Yes, anything intended as a signature is a valid signature. Yes. Yes. So this is just like the pardon for Hunter Biden back to 2014, and for anything at all when he's in those roles. Now, there is another one that was signed that same day, and it's for General Mark A. Milley. Now, his is a little different, and we're going to talk about that, because his pardon, General Milley is got a special issue being in the military. He gets a full and unconditional pardon for any offenses against the United States, including but not limited to any offenses under the United States Code or the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Remember, chat, he can pardon you for military offenses. Remember, he is the commander-in-chief. He is the commander-in-chief of the Army and the Navy. So he has that ability. He can pardon for that. You are allowed to do that. You are allowed to pardon for those offenses because he can do it. He can specify the range of things and how that would work. So he's allowed to do that. Now, what would this be for? Well, I mean, remember, Milley has talked about having a back channel open to the Chinese government. Now, would I expect that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs has the ability to communicate with militaries around the world? Sure. But when he does it where he says, if we launch a unilateral attack on China, I will tell you. Well, what if it's a legitimate order? Is he going to do it still? I mean, maybe he meant something differently, but when he made that comment in front of Congress, General Milley made it sound like he's got a Chinese cock in his mouth, which, I'd expect a little more out of a 4-star general to be able to articulate a thing that doesn't make him sound like a complete fucking sellout, but he didn't do that. Anyways, this goes from January 1st, 2014 through the date of this pardon. Arising from in any manner related to his service, and here's the thing, though. Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army or Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Now, that becomes an issue because, was he only Chief of Staff to the U.S. Army from 2014 onwards? Because that becomes an issue of like what, how would that work there? Like, that becomes an issue then of, that becomes an issue. I think it is, but I'm trying to figure that out. Because he was, from what I was able to tell, he was chief of staff of the U.S. Army in August of 2015. So this pardon kind of leaves him open if he did something back before he became chief of staff of the U.S. Army. You know, that's only, remember, guys, a full and unconditional pardon, I could specify time periods or roles you were in. General Milley was not the chief of staff of the U.S. Army prior to 2015. So there's like a whole fucking year, like a year and a half of his ass out in the wind. Like, whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. What if there's something he could fucking get God on there? That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Fractal Fair says 2014 must have been a lit year in DC. Yeah. Well, yes, in 2014, Obama outlawed gain-of-function research. Meanwhile, Fauci funded the labs in Ukraine. And you know what, though? But there's also the EcoHealth Alliance and all the scamming they did with all of that he argued wasn't happening. So we will find out what happens there. We will find out what happens. I don't know what it's going to be there, but maybe there's something. Maybe there's something. But remember, guys, we talked about this, pardons can be unlimited in scope. They can be very finite in scope. Remember the conditions, and I talked about this last night. Pardons can be unconditional, but the pardon could also say you have to show up and write a pogo stick in front of the Lincoln Memorial for 30 seconds on the 4th of July, or you don't get the pardon. And guess what? That is a valid term. It may be goofy, but the president can do it because the power of the pardon is a plenary power. It's unlimited in scope, except for one thing. You cannot pardon an impeachment. Other than that, you can do what you want. You can do a blanket pardon. You can pardon like this. It's all allowed. And I know this is really the biggest thing, though, and it tells you a lot about how, you know, like, and here's the thing. When you get pardoned, it's not an admission of guilt because innocent people can be pardoned. But this right here, this Biden doing this is, this one's really kind of the, this right here tells you a lot. This right here tells you a lot. So Joe Biden pardoned James Biden, his brother. Now, his brother had a lot of dealings involved in the Iraq War with some real estate work. But notice it only goes back to 2014, and that's after the surge and the drawdown in Iraq. Sarah Jones Biden, Valerie Biden Owens, John T. Owens, brother-in-law, and Francis Biden. Full and unconditional pardons. You know, if you're trying to convince me the 10% for the big guy thing wasn't real and there isn't a Biden crime family, this doesn't reinforce that notion. And remember, it's funny. We heard about Trump is going to pardon everyone. He didn't. And then what happens here? Biden pardons almost everyone in his family. And it's funny, the people screaming and crying about the heart and soul of America and our constitutional norms. Guess what they did? Well, they didn't give a shit about the heart and soul of America, and they set new constitutional norms. Yeah, so this is probably going to be the thing going forward. You pardon your family, and you do all kinds of crap like this. This is probably what's going to happen from now on. It's probably what's going to happen. It's probably what's going to happen. There is, yeah, it's what's going to happen. Now, you got Felton said, how could pardons get modified so people like Biden can't do this? The pardon power is in the Constitution. It's in Article 2. And all it says is, and guys, I know we've been through this already, the president shall be the commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy of the United States, and he shall have the power to grant pardons and reprieves for offenses against the United States, except in case of impeachment. You would literally have to modify this part down here, which means you'd have to amend the Constitution. You'd have to amend the Constitution. And that's the only way. It's the only way to do it. You have to amend the Constitution. Congress cannot limit it. It's not their power to give. So, yeah, you would literally have to amend it. So, sorry guys, it's over. You know, there ain't nothing to do about it. I know people, and was pointing this out to people. Notice it doesn't say charged. It doesn't say convicted. It doesn't say any of that stuff. It doesn't talk about that because it's not required. You can be pardoned for things you haven't been charged with. Think about it. If I go rob a bank, did I commit an offense against the United States? Yeah. If I bought a stolen night vision, like a PVS-14 night vision monocular, stolen from an army base, if I haven't been charged, have I committed a crime still? Yeah. Commit offense against the United States. Just because they don't know doesn't mean I didn't do it. So you don't have to be charged. You don't have to be convicted. So, yeah, you know, it's done. Like, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. So, and, you know, here's the thing, guys, and people have asked too, can you rescind pardons? So, like, can I issue a pardon and then take it back? No. A pardon is like a bullet shot out of a gun. Once it's gone, you know, the person who gets it can refuse it. And there's apparently some dumb boomer out there who's like, I'm a bad person for January 6th. I don't want Trump's pardon. Okay, be retarded, I guess. But, you know, it's not yours to take back. You shot a bullet out of a gun. It's not yours to take back at that point. So it's gone. It's a one-way trip. It's a one-way trip. Now, with that being said, this has led to some other things that have occurred. And other things that did occur are in response. Well, and I guess it's not really in response to all this, but it kind of gave Trump the ability to go ahead and do stuff here. And I don't know if that was Biden's intent, but that's kind of what happened. So what did we get from that instead? I know we already covered this once already, chat, and we're going to just go over it one more time. This is for Trump on January 20th, that night of the night of his inauguration. Under his pardon powers, he went ahead and commuted the sentences of a bunch of people that were involved in January 6th. So a bunch of people got commutations of time served, including Stuart Rhodes, Kelly Meggs, and a couple people, and then a bunch of the Proud Boys, Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Real, Dominic Pizzola, Jeremy Bertino. They all got their sentences commuted. They're all going home. And then for everybody else who had been convicted, they were granted a full, complete, and unconditional pardon if you were convicted for offenses relating to January 6th. And then for everybody else who had a case pending, the Attorney General's ordered to dismiss with prejudice to the government all pending indictments against individuals for their conduct related to the events at or near the Capitol. So there are people still, you know, awaiting trial. Their cases are to be dismissed with prejudice. Now, we talked about it last night. There are a bunch of judges who don't understand to put the fries in the bag. They've been told, put the fries in the bag, go home, do your job. And they won't do it. They won't do it. We've had a bunch of them doing it. And also, and I forgot, yes, we also did get a pardon for Ross Ulbricht, the Silk Road founder. Yes, he did get pardoned. JC Adults, but the states are going to go after him. They're going to have a very tough time. I know the DA for Philly is saying he's going to go after these people. It'll be interesting to see how. I mean, because otherwise, if I left the state to go do something, you generally don't have jurisdiction. Unless you're going to say I plotted and planned it there, but even then, it's going to be very tenuous. It's going to be very tenuous. They're not going to be very popular prosecutions. So, yeah. So that's a thing there. In addition to those people, Trump also pardoned today. He granted pardons to a bunch of pro-life protesters.
Ridiculous. Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted.
And so these are the people, including, if you guys remember at the time, there was an older woman who her husband said, well, she's really sick. She might die in prison. And the judge said, well, fuck her. She's got, her religion to lean on. The cunts in District of Columbia did that. And are those all Trump's challenge coins? Yeah, but challenge coins are like, freaking participation trophies, especially for the president. Everybody gives him one. Half Irish says they were prosecuted federally. Yeah, well, that's because abortion clinics have special federal protections, and if you're harassing women going in to murder their babies, apparently that's a federal offense. But also, I think one or two of them, they actually went in the abortion clinic and they were singing, hymns and praying in the hallways of an abortion clinic. And they were basically prosecuted federally for that because the 90s were, people were all about abortions. It also didn't help that Eric Rudolph was running around, got Dr. Tiller, the baby killer, and killed him, kind of based. But like that stuff was happening, so that's why there are protections to abortion clinics there, and they should be removed. But guys, it's there. It's not going away right now. So those are what happened, and this led to a couple different things. And this came out today. This is another example of a judge who can't put the fries in the bag, and this is Judge Amy Berman Jackson. She was appointed by Obama to the D.C. District Court. And she was the judge who sat in on Trump's arraignment for the Jack Smith case. But anyway, this dumb thunder cunt of a judge, and remember, she went to a good law school, but that doesn't mean anything. She was told we want to dismiss with prejudice. Well, she talks about this. The government asked to dismiss with prejudice. And she talks about everything there. She talks about the whole case. It's just the government may leave with the court, dismiss an indictment. And it's not her job to deny it. It's her job to make sure it's not being abused and that the defendant understands what's going on. She's there to guard against prosecutorial discretion. And yes, she says, however, in this district, there's a presumption in favor of a no prejudice dismissal. It's not your job to say what it is. If the executive branch decides it's with prejudice and the defense agrees, that's where your job ends. Your job is to sign off on it. You're supposed to put the fries in the bag, Amy. Sign it. Sign it with your little fucking chicken scratch. But you couldn't do that. This judge cannot follow the prompt. These judges need to be impeached. They can't follow the task assigned to them, which is really sad. She says only when the circumstances are exceptional, where the dismissal without prejudice would result in harassment of the defendant, she's saying I should grant a dismissal with prejudice. Well, if you don't dismiss it with prejudice, they can get reindicted. So that would be a harassment. Since it is the government seeking dismissal with prejudice based upon the proclamation, the court finds that the risk to the defendant of harassment through re-prosecution is minimal, if non-existent. Until the Democrats take over, and then he's fucked. The government's motion is devoid of any grounds for why the dismissal would serve the public interest. Because they fucking said so! He said so! The guy in charge of the executive branch, the Emperor of Mankind, said, I don't think this was right. I think it was bullshit. And to be fair, the government went full fucking retard prosecuting it. So guess what? There's going to be a full retard swing back. And anybody who's honest about it will admit, yeah, the government got real fucking heavy-handed with January 6th. It went after people like fucking lunatics, dragging everybody to D.C., not trying them in their home courts, doing all this shit. They went real fucking hard. Well, guess what? It comes back at them hard. She says, in the court's view, absence any showing it was flawed, it would be directly contrary to the manifest public interest in upholding the rule of law. You know what? And she says, moreover, the dismissal would dishonor the hundreds of law enforcement officers. It's not your fucking job to consider it. Put the fries in the bag. Dismissal with prejudice. Like, she can't do it. And she talks about the people who were huddled in terror as windows and doors were shattered. But it's to protect the very essence of democracy, the peaceful transfer of power. It would dishonor those valiant officers who filled their oaths to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Oh my God, they are the patriots. Patriotism is loyal to the country and loyalty to the Constitution, not loyalty to a single head of state. No stroke of the pen can alter what took place. But when others in the public eye are not willing to risk their own power or popularity by calling out lies when they hear them, the record of proceedings in this courthouse will be available to those who seek truth. Therefore, it's only dismissed without prejudice. Stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. Put the fries in the bag, Amy. Put the fries in the bag. We don't care. It's dismissed. Just do what we tell you. You know, and once again, these judges don't fucking get it. Abolish the D.C. District Court. Abolish the D.C. District Court. That's the only way to get around this if I was Trump. You know, abolish the motherfucker and then bulldoze it because it's a court created by congressional act. Abolish the motherfucker now. And you know what? Or at the very least, we need to rename it. Needs to be renamed. Rename it to the District of Columbia. That's what it needs to be renamed to. That's what it needs to be renamed to, chat. It needs to be gone. Needs to be gone. Abolish the motherfucker. Abolish the motherfucker. Oh. Her name's really familiar. She was involved in the Roger Stone thing. She was involved in some of the stuff involving Hillary Clinton. She's one of the more, you know, there's only the DC circuit's like one of the only places where we know many of the judges' names because they're involved in so many high profile things. So that's why we know who they are. That's why we know who they are. So at the very least, I hope these guys appeal because the court didn't do what they agreed to. Or at the very least, seek a writ of mandamus. Or I hope Trump I hope Trump pardons this guy, and then writes at the bottom, fuck you, Amy. Pardon. Done. Now you can't hurt him. So these bitches, just put the fries in the bag, ma'am. I'm not here to listen to you talk. There's a dismissal. Oh, okay, pursuant to the parties, dismissed, but done. That's all it takes. We don't need to hear you whine. We don't need to hear you opine. Go the fuck home. Yes, how can't she put fries in the bag? How could she not put fries in the bag? It's a simple task. Follow the prompt given to you. It's hard, though. Now, I will say there has been a little bit of cringe here, and I am a little bit disappointed. Like, this is cringe to see. This is from Speaker of the House Johnson, I guess when he's not out there shilling for the Ukrainian government. He says other retarded things like this.
Mr. Speaker, to potentially have any type of congressional action on the pardons that President Biden issued over the last couple of days?
So the question is he going to do any congressional action to the pardons that were issued? And this is his brilliant response.
It was shocking. I mean, it was shocking what President Biden did on the way out, pardoning his family for more than a decade of whatever activity, any nonviolent offenses. It was breathtaking to us. I don't think that's anything like that's ever been anticipated. And by the way, go look at the tape.
Okay, guys, hold on.
4 years ago, when it was.
Hold on, guys. Sorry, the audio's fucked. Hold on here. Will this help at all? Let me know if this helps.
It was shocking. I mean, it was shocking what President Biden did on the way out, pardoning his family for more than a decade of whatever activity, any nonviolent offenses. It was breathtaking to us. I don't think that's anything like that's ever been anticipated. And by the way, go look at the tape. 4 years ago, when it was just implied that President Trump might do something similar, they were apoplectic. Joe Biden himself, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer. Roll the tape. They all said that would be crazy and unconscionable, and now they're cheering it along. To us, it is disgusting. To us, it probably proves the point, the suspicion that they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right? Look, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to this, and I think that is appropriate, and we will be looking at it as well. So, yeah.
All right, so there we go, guys. So that's kind of what happened there. Now, I will say, at the end of the day, a pardon and all the nonsense of a pardon being an admission of guilt, no, it's not. A pardon is a political act the president has. The president can pardon whoever he wants for whatever reason he wants to. Now, what's the check on that? Well, the check on that is Congress could impeach him. So, for example, for January 6th, if the Democrats controlled Congress, they could immediately have impeached him if they wanted to. That's kind of that's the check and balance. So he has a plenary power, but then Congress has a plenary power. They have the power to impeach. So that's where it becomes an issue. Apoplectic. I mean, like, they were all just like, oh my God, oh! Like, they were freaking the fuck out. So. But a pardon before charges looks guilty as fuck. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, think about it. Like Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg ran on prosecute Fannie Willis too. I'm going to prosecute Donald Trump. Let's say I was the governor of New York and I was a Republican. Think about if you were the governor of New York and you're a Republican. Would you pardon Donald Trump just to fuck him over? Yeah. But you're doing it because you think it's bullshit. Would you wait till he got convicted and then do it? Why would you make somebody go through the trial? No, I pardon this man. I think he's being wrongfully targeted and wrongfully persecuted. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. Matthew Felty saying the imputation. And here's the thing: the dicta in verdict for the United States. What is? And this is where you need to explain. And this is where guys need to understand. What does imputation mean? That we perceive it to be that only guilty people accept pardons. It's not like a declaration you are guilty. The Supreme Court's just pointing out, yeah, generally when someone takes a pardon, a lot of people think they're guilty. Yeah, no shit. That doesn't mean you are. A lot of people are fucking retarded. That doesn't mean like whatever they think is true. So, Malka says unindicted crime should not be pardonable. Man, like, I'm just telling you, dude. This is the fucking instruction manual for a pardon. The pardon power. Here's the instruction manual. You tell me you can't do it. Literally, these are the instructions. These are the limits of do not, like, this is kind of like the whole don't take a bath with your toaster. There's only one thing you can't do. That's the only thing you can't do. People are outraged about this. Like, people should have paid attention in fucking civics class. I mean, like, this isn't a new thing. 250 fucking years it's been here. So, yeah. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, kid. So, yeah. And I'm not picking on you necessarily, but, yeah, it's just the point. It's just the point of, like, it's done. We're not nerfing pardons. We don't need to buff them up either. So Jim is saying, presidents can pardon for crimes that have not yet happened, according to Tom Clancy. Okay. And I don't think that's correct. Yes, I've read about the campus too, where they've got the whole stack of like signed pardons they can use. Yeah. And like, you know what, if you can cover it up and make that shit work, you're fine. But the only way you get the only way you get truly allowed to commit any actions like that is if you had like it's like a clear present danger. If you had a presidential finding where you're authorized to do whatever is necessary to take care of an action that threats the national security of the United States, that's probably about the only time you can get like a permission to go commit felonies and crime. So, but yeah, that's the limit of it, chat. And it's cringe to see the Speaker of the House do that. It's like, the pardons are there, man. It is what it is. It's game over. Like, that's suffer. Suffer, America. Suffer all these pardons. That's what happens. Suffer. I hate, it sucks, but that Joe Biden fucking tarnished his legacy. So in a way, let him light himself on fire. Let him light himself on fire. Who cares? Let him do it. Let him do it. Fuzzy says a crime must have occurred to be a crime. Okay. Well, you committed an offense against the United States. Okay, so did you commit a crime? You don't have to confess the crimes. There's no requirement. So I think that, they have. I think he did. I think he committed a crime. Good enough. Or I'm worried about it. Good enough. Or maybe I don't think he did it. Good enough. I mean, really, remember, like Trump doesn't think the January 6ers did anything wrong. Good enough. I mean, like, that's the thing. People were all angry about the Bidens, and it's like, well, they must have done something. Okay, well, what about the January 6ers? Oh, well, that's different. It's like, no, a little bit of fucking consistency here, guys. Examoon says, could Trump pardon John McAfee post-mortem? Yeah. Yeah, he can say, I think that was wrong. Post-mortem pardons happen all the time. I mean, think about it. When the governor of a state pardons a guy who's been wrongfully in prison for like 20 years, does that mean even though he's been exonerated and clearly he didn't commit the crime by accepting the pardon, he's also now guilty of that crime too? That whole logic of accepting a pardon makes you guilty doesn't make much sense. But yeah, John McAfee could get pardoned right now. Does that mean he was guilty ultimately? No, that would be retarded to think like that. So just something to think about when you're dealing with this chat. Just something to think about here. Rocco's Life saying it's metaphysics, Sean. How close to wet do you have to be for a pardon life raft? Okay, well let's say I take a pardon and I stick it inside a coconut and you're on a deserted island and I have all the coconuts. Oh. Oh. Oof, that's so sad. I had to go that route. Maddie B, we gotta catch up on some things here. Maddie B for $2 says for 150 great shows at 25K almost in subs. Yeah, we're getting there, chat. Thank you, Maddie. 2 scoops of Destroyer for 27 months. Thank you. It says greens only. Grays keep moving. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tim of Tams. Tim, how you doing, buddy? Over there in Australia. Good day, mate. Throw another shrimp on the barbie. Gifting 5 subs. Once again, well, you don't have guns in Australia, but, Tim is walking along with his bag of snakes and spiders, and he's finding grays, and he's just throwing random poisonous creatures at people, trying to get rid of them, driving the grays out. Thank you, Tim, for your support. And then Hunch, the dirty roofer, says, hey, Chad, Sean will do a locals live if we hit 500 tonight. He promised. Thanks, Hunch. Hope you're doing well, man. And Hypnotoad, yes, we covered that already. Evil Gandhi says, congrats to Nick pregnant from Camel. That's oof. Oh. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says, I need to go ringside in the celebrity fight section with Clyde. Oh, that'd be great. That would be great. Sergeant Jordan says preemptive pardon should be null and void. They're not, though. They're not. And Zero Fuck says the plenary pardon power equals PPP. Maybe he's a secret American, chat. Oh my God. Somebody better tell him he can just come across the border. He doesn't have to stay anymore. He can leave. He can leave Caucadia. He can leave. He'd have to leave Worski behind, though, but they can, do the show through the internet. But yeah, he can leave. Not gonna lie, he'd be like the Roadrunner, just setting the ground on fire, running across the border. I would too if I was a Canadian. So Yamal is saying, what if we could prove the 2016 election? I think you mean 2020 election was stolen. Doesn't matter, guys. The election's over. The Supreme Court's not going to overturn stuff. Just what if it turns out Biden was completely blubbering and retarded the whole time? Not going to overturn anything. The internal rules of how things happen, they were passed and accepted and put into power. Good enough for the Supreme Court, chat. Good enough for the Supreme Court. They won't overturn that stuff. They will not overturn that stuff. So, Brandon says, I hope Trump investigates Biden and compels his family who have been pardoned to testify against him. If they refuse it, then they get investigated. Well, I mean, when you're like, we haven't had this issue yet of people who have been pardoned having to testify. But if I was the Trump DOJ, I would make the argument this operates effectively as immunity. Therefore, you no longer have the Fifth Amendment right because you've been pardoned for any and all crimes, especially the Biden family. They got full and unconditional pardons. But who knows how that would work? Who knows how that would work? And then Stephen Bunt is saying, wait, Sean, how does your pardon reasoning reconcile with innocent to proven guilty? Did you rob the bank if they haven't proved you robbed it? I mean, well, I know I did it. I mean, does that mean I haven't committed an offense? So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if Biden thinks he may have committed an offense or he thinks he's innocent and to protect him, if a prosecutor thinks he committed an offense, well, there you go. He's pardoned. I mean, there's not a requirement he has to justify his logic. The pardon's really kind of an unlimited tool. Bun says, if you're pardoned for future offenses, can you not pay income taxes and be untouchable? I don't know about that. And, there's the issue of, I think the DOJ's produced opinion saying can't do that. And I don't know if courts would allow you to do that. That would be kind of against the idea of having the pardon. There's a policy interest. We don't want to encourage people to be bad. So I don't think that would work. Rod Breton saying, Douglas Mackey, yes, Ricky Vaughn, the guy who got convicted of the bullshit in court for saying, vote here, does not take the pardon because he wants the legal precedent for being able to meme. Yeah, he's appealing it, and I hope he wins. He's appealing it and hope he wins. Sergeant Jordan says, can we get an EO for the immediate release of Wilshire Boulevard? Yeah, that'd be great. That would be very great. Asshole Reacts says, stop putting fries in the bag. What, you don't like fries? You don't like fries? Come on now. You got to put the fries in the bag. Kathy, your realtor in Jersey, is saying, these judges show there's no such thing as impartiality, no blindness here. Yeah, that's the other problem. These judges have shown they're not impartial. And then Dark Tech, guys, we'll get to the other things in a second. As Dark Tech Observer, thank you for being here, by the way, is saying, does the pardon power require specific crimes, or can it just be a general criminal immunity? What's the common law history on that? Well, the common law history goes back to the king. The king had the power to absolve you. Think about it in common law England. The crown could say, you hereby are, go forth. I absolve you of your crimes. You no longer can be punished. He had that power. But open and blanket pardons before, like the Whiskey Rebellion, the farmers were pardoned. It's not uncommon. Like, their limit. Like, it probably hasn't been done in this way. Generally, it's for a specific offense. But remember, there's the rules. That framework is the boundaries of what you can do. The Constitution says you can only there's only one limit. There you go. That's the limit. It's a plenary power. It's meant to be a plenary power. It's meant to be pretty much an unlimited power. So that it's a very good question you're asking, though. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, this generally wasn't that big of an issue back in the day. But they also weren't dealing with fucking communists in the government. So that's the problem there. All right, chat, moving on. We have something interesting. This is actually pretty based. Now, it's not what you think. It's not what you think right now. There's going to be... This isn't what you think it is yet. But we're getting there. We're getting there, chat. This is going to be good. So today, Trump did a pretty epic thing. I'm actually happy with it. This is...
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
I mean, a lot of us were waiting on maybe like one of the three, and then some of us maybe two of the three, but how many people were really raiding on all three of those? I mean, we know James Earl Ray did it, and we know he was working with the FBI. I mean, really, we kind of already know that.
And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's pretty epic. Give it to RFK. But what does it actually mean? Well, here's where we get to it, chat. It's a declassification of records concerning the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK. Notice they're not all Kennedys. Not all Kennedys, chat, before you get too far. So here's what's going to happen. So he's ordering that the JFK Presidential Records Collection Act requires all records relating to it be disclosed in full. It was already required to by 2017, unless the president certified there was made necessary because it would harm military defense, intelligence, or law enforcement, or foreign relations, or it outweighed the public interest in disclosure. And he says he previously accepted proposed redactions, but we're done. We're done. So, Joe Biden did it again in 2021, 22, and 23 to withhold information from disclosure. But we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. Basically, within 15 days of this, the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, and the Attorney General shall, in coordination with the Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs and the Counsel of the President, present a plan to do the full and complete release of records relating to the assassination. And then within 45 days of this order, they shall coordinate with the Assistant to the President for National Security Matters and Counsel to review those records and present a plan for the full release. So we're not all done, but we already know what's going to happen, chat. You're going to see this. This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you right now. You're going to see this. This is pretty much what's going to happen. This is all you're going to see. This is what it's going to look like. It's going to get the black bars of transparency. And you're going to see you're going to see this basically. Nothing's going to happen. They're going to stonewall it and it's going to just fall apart. You're going to see, it's going to look like this. So that's the plan here, chat. It's going to be basically it's going to get redacted. So it's not like we're not going to straight up get we're not going to get everything we wanted. We're not going to get everything we wanted. I mean, I'd love to see which of the theories about Kennedy are true. There's a bunch of them. There's so many theories, and one that I bought into in the past year that I've been reading about is a theory that was one of the Secret Service guys in the follow-on car panicked and accidentally shot Kennedy in the back of the head with one of the AR-15s that they were equipped with. They carried those and fucking drilled Kennedy in the back of the head. Could be. We don't know. We don't know yet. But I'd love to find out. I would love to find out. It would be really great if we could. How hard would you be if they unredacted it? They would fucking kill Trump if that was going to happen. There's no way in hell that's going to happen. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, Secret Service, the AR-15, yes. I'm crushing the black pills into black lines. Oh, come on now. You guys know that. Am I wrong here? It's going to look like this, and you know it's going to look like this. You know it's going to look like this, chat. Don't bullshit yourself. Come on now. No huffy copium, chat. That's worse than being horny. Don't be horny, but don't huff copium. Don't huff copium and don't snort opium. Come on now. You know that's not going to happen. Negative Nancy. I'm just telling you how it's going to go. I hope they get leaked, but yeah, that won't happen. Did I see Danny talk about this the other day? No, I did not. So, Wasn't JFK hit from multiple angles? I mean, yeah, I kind of support the idea of multiple shooters. It makes a lot of sense. I agree with that. It was back and to the left. Back and to the left. Panicked. Yes, panicked. LBJ, Israel, and the driver. Yeah. The accidental team kill is rough. Well, unless it wasn't accidental. Harvey did it. The multiple shooters is COINTELPRO. I don't know about that. Chugi's saying that isn't what the order says to do. The order says no redactions. I know, but it's the intel community. It's a bunch of fucking spooks. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to do whatever they want. I'm just telling you. They're going to go, whatever, I do what I want. Okay? They are going to do whatever they want. And they're going to basically say, sorry, we're not doing this. So, yeah, that's what it's going to look like. That's what it's going to look like. You know, yeah, he's going to say we're releasing all the records. Cool. They're going to get redacted, or you know what? Records are going to get lost. We know it's going to happen. It's, yeah, China was behind it. Yeah. Mao Zedong was behind it. That's it. When he wasn't fucking little girls, which he did. Imagine that. A communist is a pedophile. Shocker. I know. When he wasn't fucking little girls, yes, he was ordering the hit on Kennedy. Yes, Gomer piloted him in the back of his dome. Yes. Didn't Lee Harvey Oswald spend time in a Siberian prison? I don't think he did. He spent some time in like Soviet, like, you know, they surveilled him and stuff, but he didn't spend time in a jail. Breaking news: Thomas Crooks is the grandson of one of the Secret Service guys in the follow-on cars. Yes, I take it good. Says, Oy vey! Oy vey. Take the hopium. No! I will not take the hopium. I will not take the hopium. It was a time-traveling Ethan Ralph, and he's like... Yeah. The Committee for Fair Play on Cuba sends its regards, bitch! Oh, that was great. Black pills give me hopium because he's been wrong constantly. I've not been wrong about a lot of things. This is our week, Sean. Let us have it. Yeah, well, there you go. And don't snort petrol either. Yes. It's the season of reveal. I hope so. Chat. Fallen Preachers is that's what it's called when a classified document is released unredacted when it's declassified. What's it called? It's just declassified and then unredacted. But like I don't see the intel community allowing that. They're going to say national security issues. So you also said we wouldn't get January 6th blanket pardons, if I recall. Yeah, because you know what? Trump was pretty feckless the first time around. You know, Ivanka and Jared fucking tugged on his nuts and they did what they wanted. Trump was pretty retarded the first time through. Trump was bitch made the first time through. I guess now he's gonna fucking be Big Dick Donnie, which is good. But I didn't hold out hope. I wasn't holding out hope, but it looks like we got that hope now. So yeah. Oh. The Mossad is at it again. Yeah, they can't. They keep getting away with this. Oh. Also, different angles equals he was in a moving vehicle. Well, there are some things that kind of make sense, like the magic bullet. You know, is really just because they were all hunched over and the bullet went through them. But like if you set them up, the bullets. Yeah, there's some things I don't believe. Like the magic bullet thing is kind of a retarded thing. It's just they were all hunched over, so the bullet went through. But when you stand them up, the bullet holes don't line up. So the smile on LBJ's face, he knew. Yeah. Chat. Jack Ruby sounds a lot less Jewish than Jack Rubenstein. Yes, well. Yeah. Just like Trump, they'll use the black highlighter. Yes. Yes, they'll use the magic marker. Yeah. They'll say, sorry, everything got destroyed in a fire. Oops. They don't recall where the files are stored. That's true also. I can see that happening. So, gefilte fish. Yes. Didn't Ted Cruz's dad shoot from the Houston Street train bridge? I haven't heard that one, but that's interesting. I have not heard that one. So that would be very interesting there. All right, guys. So that's kind of just one of the updates there with the Kennedy stuff. Like I said, just you guys need to know about it. What's happening out there? Yeah. Just I thought it was important. We needed to know about it as far as things are covered here. Let's see. We have. All right. Moving on from there, chat. Going on to. And I know we talked about this previously a couple weeks ago. The federal registration requirements for LLCs and corporate entities through the FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network under the Treasury Department. They wanted your BOIs, which are the beneficial ownership information reports. I know I told you previously that it all been put on hold in Texas, and then the Fifth Circuit had affirmed it. And then, it went to the Supreme Court, and today it came out. And the Supreme Court said, no, the Supreme Court decided to suck the government's dick on this. So the LLC requirements to register are now back into effect. So go ahead and do that. If you happen to have an LLC, I would tell you consult with an attorney, but it looks like we have to comply for now. So this is what happened in that case. It came out today. It was a application for a stay, and the United States went ahead, and this is where I'm a little pissed off. Trump should be getting involved in this and stopping it. So, like rickety fucking tick, he should order them to dismiss the case or stop the case. But in the meantime, it's James McHenry, because remember he's the acting attorney general, versus Texas Cop Shop et al. And this was presented to Justice Alito as an application for its stay because Alito is the justice who supervises the Fifth Circuit. So this was referred to him, and the court is granted. On December 5th, the 2024, the amended order of the United States District Court for Eastern Texas stayed pending the disposition of the appeal in the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. And they said, and for a disposition of a writ of certiorari if such a writ is timely sought. Now, so here's the issue. So the stay is done. The stay is done. The government got a stay of the stay. So Texas Cop Shop said, we want to stay, we want an injunction. Granted. Fifth Circuit said, cool. The Supreme Court said, no, not doing it. So this stay shall be terminate, the stay will terminate automatically if certiorari is denied. In the event certiorari is granted, the stay shall terminate upon the sending down of the judgment of the court. So, yeah, it's now in effect until certiorari, if certiorari gets denied, then it'll stop. Or if it's granted, it'll stay in effect until the court makes a ruling. So Justice Gorsuch did make a concurrence, and he says, I agree with the court. The government is entitled to a stay of the district court's universal injunction. Now, this is interesting. He said, I would even go a step further, as the government suggests, to take this case now to resolve definitively the question of whether a district court may issue nationwide injunctions. Because we saw that throughout the first Trump administration with Hawaii judge. Well, Gorsuch is pissed off about it, and he's like, I want to resolve that shit now. And notice, he fucking cites himself in his own fucking Supreme Court opinion. Fucking douche. And then he also fucking cites himself again. Like a fucking toolbox. Then Justice Jackson dissented, actually. And, I agree with her. She says, however likely their success on the merits is, emergency relief is not appropriate because they've failed to demonstrate the exigency to justify the intervention. First, the Fifth Circuit has expedited its consideration of the government's appeal. And it says, second, the government deferred implementation on its own accord for nearly 4 years after Congress enacted the law. So if this was such a harm that we're going to all the money laundering and drug dealing and terrorism and bad guys, well, the government fucked around for 4 years, never did anything with it. So the government has provided no indication that the injury would be serious or significant if the act's implementation is further delayed. And she says, I would deny the application and permit the appellate process to run its course. And she dissented. So it was an 8-1. Because remember, Gorsuch concurred, but the other ones up here, the other 7. So this is 7. This is 1. And then this is 1. So we've got all 9. The 9 are here. It's an 8-1. 8-1, guys. 8-1. 8-1. So it's nice to see where they're all at. I went ahead and signed up today because now it's in effect. So there you go. So you don't complain when the black woman cites herself. Well, it supports what I'm looking for. It's helpful to me, Luke. It's helpful to me. But it is funny. They do it. And yes, she cites from herself as well. But she's citing in a way that I like, so it's good. Right now, Justice Jackson and I are on the same side of the issue. So it's good. It is good. This just screams ego. Yeah, a little bit there. So if you own an LLC, guys, you have to register it because apparently we're fighting fucking terrorism or something. I don't really understand why. So, yeah. So, Blackadder says I'm tax exempt this year. Yeah, well, that's not how that works. That's not how that works this year. Which is funny because I had released the clip of all of this today, and it's like, fuck. Now I feel like an idiot. I got to do like another one right away. So yeah. It's going to be back in effect for now, which is bullshit. Oh, wait, register what? Doesn't the forming the LLC register? No. Midnight in Exile, you have to go to FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. And it's part of the Corporate Transparency Act. And this is something, if you guys, we'll go through this real quick. This is the FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. And you have to report beneficial ownership information. So it's part of the Corporate Transparency Act. And for this, it ensures transparency and plays a role in combating financial crimes like money laundering. It applies to most U.S. businesses. So you have to show the name of your organization. You give them your full name, your date of birth, your residential or business address, and your like passport or driver's license. It's a thing. It's a thing, chat. It's a thing. But yeah, FinCEN is kind of running the show with this stuff now. And they point out that in light of the recent federal court order, companies were not required. But this is not active anymore, chat. This is not actual fair advice. But this is how they talk about the beneficial ownership information. So, there's ongoing litigation, and they notice that, but the Supreme Court today kind of threw it all out. So it's an actual thing. You actually have to do it if you have an LLC, an S corp, whatever you have, any sort of corporate entity. Generally, you're going to have to do it. So who said their business is my business? They did. They decided it's your business. Now, chat, let's talk with a lawyer in your area and your jurisdiction. They'll help you figure things out. But yeah, this is just a heads up to everybody. They changed the rules again. So Could Doge make this go away? Yeah, the president can make this go away right now, too, if he wanted. And hopefully he does. Joe Smo says residents of LA County will not have to file their taxes until October 15th. Well, that's nice. So they got an automatic extension. I wonder if that also they're not being penalized with penalties and interest, because technically that doesn't stop after April 15th. That keeps running. So Shane Chaser says, learning about this explains why my bosses very quickly dissolved their LLC. Yeah, I could see that. I definitely could see that. So let me see here. So that is something you guys just need to know. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of it, because this is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. And it sucks they did it, but nothing we can do, chat. Nothing we can do. Nothing we can do. And then moving on from there, this is an interesting thing out in North Carolina. North Carolina, where you got to raise up, where you can take your shirt off and if you raise up and you take your shirt off and twist it around your head, you have to spin it like a helicopter. To quote the great artist Petey Pablo, he's a new artist with a new jive. And he dedicated his song to all those nibbas doing life behind the wall. But yes, in North Carolina, they still have an unresolved electoral race at this point. And it's for the Supreme Court of North Carolina. So it's interesting what's happened here. It's still going. And I think where I found these documents at was on democracydocket.com. This is the shit Mark Elias is running. They are not like actively screaming this is the end of the world, because this guy has some legitimate claims here. So he filed in a local trial court a restraining order preliminary injunction against the Board of Elections. And then what did he do there? Well, there were a bunch of issues. He is the Republican candidate in the 2024 election for the Supreme Court of North Carolina. His opponent is the Honorable Allison Riggs. She's a Democrat candidate. She is the incumbent. On November 19th, he filed election protests with the county boards of election in all 100 of North Carolina's counties. And he filed 6 categories of protest. He only lost by 700 votes statewide. So the board of elections assumed jurisdiction in 3 of the categories. This is one of which is relevant. He's challenging ballots cast by individuals who have never lived in North Carolina. There's also people who sent in ballots that they didn't have their IDs right, or they didn't sign things. There's a couple of different categories of review. So ultimately, the State Board of Elections and the Democrat candidate moved this to the United States District Court for the Eastern District of North Carolina. At that later on January 6th, the district court remanded the case back to Superior Court, and the court has now jurisdiction. But in the meantime, it's been appealed to the 4th Circuit, because that's the federal court overseeing it. So right now there's an issue. In the meantime, the State Board of Elections, while they sent it to federal court, issued a written decision dismissing the other remaining categories of protest regarding felon voters, deceased voters, and non-registered voters. And they issued a final decision. In the meantime, while they sent it to federal court, which you can see there's a bunch of fucking games being played. They said, no, it's got to go to federal court. But in the meantime, we're also going to rule against you. So in that regard, there was a big issue here about what's going on with it. So the judge asked his court to issue a stay in the certification of the election pending his appeal to the Supreme Court challenging the ballots of people who've never lived there. So he asked for a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction. And he's got to show that he has a likelihood of success. He's going to sustain irreparable loss. Well, yeah, if he loses, he's done. And, to do all this. And it says the restraining order should be issued if there's probable cause for supposing that he could, maintain his action and there'll be irreparable loss. He filed a timely appeal. And he's been aggrieved because his case got dismissed. And they said also he's likely to prevail. So he's arguing that ultimately this is going to get to go up. So right now it's been challenged, and he got his preliminary injunction, and it ended up going up to the North Carolina Supreme Court, which is kind of funny because the Supreme Court of North Carolina is trying to hear the case, and this is a case about the Supreme Court of North Carolina. So they got involved, and they've said at this point now, he filed for a writ of prohibition, and this has all been going on here. And he says, they want to know what's going on here. He wants to prohibit them from any courts awarding the case over. But he's contesting 3 separate sets of votes that are illegal. And these are interesting. 5,500 votes were from overseas voters who violated state law by not providing a photo ID with their ballot, which is really fucking weird. Those would be counted. 267 voters who were born abroad and have never resided in the state. And then 60,000 voters who failed to provide required information when they registered to vote. So they're trying to figure out what to do here, but he's challenging 3 big categories of people. So he's trying to get it done here, but they deny his writ of prohibition. And they say the writ is not for things which may be redressed in the ordinary course of judicial proceedings or by an appeal. So right now he's going to have to appeal it. And he says the state law allows an aggrieved party to file appeal the final decision, the State Board of Elections, with the Superior Court. So where he got his injunction, he has to go back to. And after filing his writ of prohibition with this court, he sought further review in the Superior Court of Wake County on the same grounds as those set out here. So the court on its own motion is throwing this all out, and they're allowing the appeal process to proceed. And it's very interesting because, Justice, one judge spoke, but Justice Riggs has been recused because, Justice Riggs, well, who's Justice Riggs? Well, bit of an issue there, because, it's, you're like, oh, it's that same Judge Riggs, Judge Allison Riggs. She can't be there. Yeah. So that was interesting. They still haven't fucking sorted this out, guys. And we are we are months and months past. And they're still counting votes and fighting over things. So I just thought it was interesting. This is really like the only major case that's still pending like that. Everything else has been quiet. The Democrats and the left have just kind of like fucking rolled over. I remember telling you guys in the lead up to the inauguration, they were going to do something. They didn't do a goddamn thing, which really makes me nervous because what are they not doing right now? But I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird what they're doing. So it sounds like they found bullshit votes. Yeah. And I don't see how you can do, like, you've never lived in the state and you were born abroad. How are you voting in North Carolina? I can see, like, if your parents are from North Carolina and you maintain your citizenship, maybe, but that's still really fucking weird. Still very, 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 very weird. So Jay says, I just got here to start over. Of course, we'll do that. Like I said, guys, it's very weird here. Very, very, very weird. Yes, right now, Rod is saying the North Carolina Supreme Court is currently 4-3 Republican. Yes, and it's just very interesting how this is dragging on now. This is how it's dragging on. John Doe says, you're insane. That's not the first time I've heard that. Petey Pablo is from North Carolina, in case you forgot. That's why I was talking about, you got to take your shirt off and spin around your head, twist around your head, spinning like a helicopter. Why do you think I came up with that? Not you, buddy. Okay, don't call me buddy, pal. Oh. Yeah, I get that there's military bases in North Carolina, but you being born abroad and you've never lived in North Carolina, you'd have to be born abroad to parents who are from North Carolina, I guess, and declare that your residency. So there we go. Is it funny and weird? It's interesting. It's interesting that it's still going on. I thought you guys would appreciate that. Thought you guys would appreciate what we're dealing with there. All right. Okay, guys, moving on to more. We have Sarah Boone, America's sweetheart. She's not done. She is not done. So, we do have some updates on things for Sarah Boone. We have some of her filings just real quick, so some of you guys are wondering. I know somebody asked previously what's going on there. So Sarah Boone did file for her appeal, and she did seek appellate counsel, and you're entitled to seek appellate counsel for appeal. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you, and the cost for the transcripts will be provided at cost by the state if you can't afford them. So she went ahead and swore out her affidavit of insolvency or indigency, and she stated that if you have, and this is interesting the way they do it, that a lien for the value of the services rendered by the public defender / court-appointed counsel could be filed or impressed by law on any property he or she now has or may hereafter have. And the affidavit has been informed that any such lien is filed and impressed, he or she provided with a notice for hearing purposes and heard about that lien. I think it's interesting they could do it afterwards. So if she ends up with property later on in life, they could file. It's like, but I think mainly this is meant to be in case you're playing games with your resources to hide things. But anyway, signed by Sarah Boone, the affiant. So ultimately, she is getting appellate counsel. She was also, if you guys have never seen this before, this is kind of the tail end of a court case. We really haven't done these. And this wasn't really warranting a whole Sarah Boone show by herself. But this is the back end of stuff. So it's the uniform commitment to custody. You get a commitment to custody. And they say that this is signed by, the judge saying, I'm here and I'm committing her. The order of commitment. So, the above named defendant has been duly charged, convicted, adjudicated, guilty, and sentenced for the above offenses set forth in the certified indictments attached. In addition to the judgment, a certified copy of the order revoking supervision, if necessary, is attached. And she says, this is to command the sheriff to take and keep within a reasonable time after receiving this commitment, deliver the defendant into the custody of the Department of Corrections, and is command the Secretary of the Department of Corrections to keep and imprison the defendant for the term of the sentence herein, failing not. So this is how this goes, you guys. We normally don't ever get to this part, but this is the end of it. This is the end of all those trials and all those things that happen. If you guys have never seen these before, these are I get these all the time. You get CC'd on these when they get filed, and then the clerk puts them in, and you get an email. I get emailed these all the time. So they happen, and it's witness the Honorable Michael Kranick. That's his signature, and all of that there. So this is the actual transfer to there. So this is they write it out and they say, I have on this 30th day of December delivered the person and this said defendant to remain a duly served sentence whose receipt therefore is contained herein. And this is what they do. This is how it gets signed. Everybody signs off and there's paperwork. And she's officially in the custody of the Department of Corrections now. So, yes. Fair Maiden Wins. How are you doing? Says, talk about the fruit of the poisonous tree in Delphi. We will be talking about that. We'll probably be going over that. Maybe because I'm kind of torn. It depends on what I can talk to. I know Fudbusters and Ronco are probably coming back from Vegas. They went to go hang out. They didn't invite me. Assholes. They went to SHOT Show. So was going to talk about seeing if they wanted to come on this, this weekend, but either Friday night or Saturday night, we will be going over the Richard Allen motion for a new trial, and all the stuff that's been subsequently filed in his case, where we can address all those things. But good to see you, Fair Maiden Wins. Hello. Sarah now has a short Mexican holding her Pocky in jail. Oh, I'm sure she does. I'm sure she's commanding a pod right now. She's the pod mommy. Yes, Ian Runkle won at the Gundies. Yes, Runkle the Bailey won Gundies for his content creation, I think, or something like that. But yes, congrats, Runkle. You did a great job out there. Glad you won. Glad it wasn't Armed Scholar or half the other channels out there that shill and do clickbait. So Runkle doing good stuff. Yes, most entertaining creator for the second year in a row. Good. Him or 4 Boxes Diner are the only two I would tolerate winning that. Can you pen pal Sarah to keep the notes coming? You guys can write her if you want. There's nothing to stop you. Nothing to stop you. And chat, before we get too far, as far as things we need to do, we should talk about our sponsors tonight. The first one is at dragonstreasure.com. Use the promo code criminal, and you get 10% off your teas, your coffees, and your soaps. The dragonstreasure.com, a haven for tea and anime lovers. Let's get promo code criminal. Buy the tea, buy his tea. And then chat, we also have maf-arms.com. maf-arms.com, guys. You know him, it's Matt from Fudbusters, the premier wind chime dealer in South Florida. Get your wind chimes. We're getting ready. Spring will be here soon. Get your wind chimes ready, guys. Get ready for the fun and games of the spring. Let the neighborhood hear your wind chimes in action. Use the promo code POTCRIM, get 10% off your order. And also, they're still doing the Yuletide yard sale. Go check them out. Go check them out, chat. And then finally, chat, we have Stoney's Bar and Grill at 158 East Broadway Street in Rockville, Minnesota. Yes, chat, Stoney's, your place to go. Chat, it's $2.50 cans now on Thursdays. But you know what? It's America's 250th birthday coming up this year. So you know what? I guess Cheeto's thinking ahead. That makes sense. That is brilliant thinking on his part. Or it's Biden inflation. I don't know. Either way, it works. And we can do it. Chat, but they are getting ready. They got a Super Bowl party, and it's not the Super Bowl you're thinking of. It's going to be the Naked Twister Super Bowl. It's going to be like Naked Twister All-Stars is coming up on Super Sunday on February 9th at 6 p.m. Aaron will be there, and all the winning participants, all the greats, you've heard the stories of the phenomenal performances over this past year at the patio at Stoney's will be coming back, and it will be it'll be a clash of the Titans. It'll be like that base. I remember playing the game Legends of the Diamond for Nintendo. You could play like Honus Wagner versus like Hank Aaron. You could do all that stuff. That'll be happening, chat. That'll be happening. And then chat, also remember happy hour 4 to 7. And Stoney's right now, chat, they're open till midnight. It's Thursday. So guess what? It's only 10:20 in Minnesota. You can roll out there and get tore up. You still have time. And remember, chat, this weekend, they got Griff and the Grifters. They're taking the Fireball stage at 8:30. And Saturday night, Julio Goldstein. A little, coming in there, doing a little fiddler on the roof for you. Probably at 8 p.m. chat. Just when you start hearing the fiddling music, you're just gonna from your heart, you're gonna want to share it with everybody. So that'll be at Stoney's, chat, celebrating 30 years as Minnesota's premier biker bar. Real quick, we got a couple more chats here real quick. Captain Forever says, I think it's reasonable to assume the founders saw how volatile politics are and wanted to plenary power to prevent vengeful lawfare. They had gunfights over politics in the 18th century. I think so too. I totally think they weren't dumb. They were very smart. And yeah, they would have fucking duels. Yes, very true. Very good observation. I agree. And then Cheryl Moran. Cheryl coming in not just with 10, but 20 subs. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Cheryl's doing her part, chat. She's doing her part to get rid of the Gray Menace. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing, chat. You're just sitting there letting these Grays run wild. Can't have that. You have to have a firm hand and just the firm hand guide them. Guide these Grays. Father them. They're running around with fatherless behavior right now, chat. Let Daddy Green take care of them. Thank you, Cheryl, for your support and your generosity. And the Dark Tech, we already did that. I just want to make sure we caught up to that. I hate Yankees saying for JFK. My personal favorite theory is that Glowy's hired Oswald to shoot the president without hitting him, but he accidentally shot him instead. Oh, it was meant to be a fake assassination, and he accidentally I'm not going to make boom. Oh, no. Oh, no, Chad, I did it. That would be funny. That would be funny. Unhung Hero says, joke's on you. The copium makes me horny. Oh, that's a little awkward. Maybe you could go hang out with Destiny. That'll probably be the place for you to go. DGG, guys. That's the place for you. It's a place for you, I'm thinking. Jim, how are you doing, Jim? It says, we need a push for a pardon for Matt Hoover. Yes, we do. And I was hoping Matt gets back. I was going to talk to him about that and see what we could do about that. So, but yes, free Matt Hoover. Free Matt Hoover from CRS Firearms. Truly a guy who got fucked over. Then Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says, what happens first? Nick stops drinking or Nick delivers all the 5K locals gifts? I mean, I don't know when the gifts are going to happen. He says they're going to happen, but who knows what they're going to be? It's like the kid whose dad's like, I'm going to promise to take you to Disneyland. It'll be this year. It never happens. And then KRM944 has been a member for 11 months. Thank you for the support, man. Says Stoney has cans for 10 quarters. What a deal. Yes, what a deal indeed. What a deal indeed. And then Darcy for 20 more subs. She just says, get the step in, Grays. Get the step in. This is our town. This is our chat. Darcy's like, I want to share my love with everybody. She just wants to share her love with everyone, chat. Everyone. Thank you, Darcy, for sharing your love. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yes, recolored. Oh. Welcome to Chanto. Yes. Yes. Well, hello. Welcome, new colors. Oh, no. Rabbit Stick says, are Republicans afraid to put base judges in D.C.? I don't know, but hopefully they start changing that. But we'll see. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they do the right thing. But I'm not counting on it. Not counting on it just because, it's what they do. It's what they do. All right, chat. So, where are we at here? Because I think we got a little sidetracked with Sarah. Okay, she got returned. Okay, and then real quick, just so you wanted to see this is an order appointing her appellate counsel. So on the 18th of December, this guy named Alan Holland has been appointed to be her attorney. This guy right here. He was relieved from further representation, and Joshua Adams Esquire is hereby appointed. So I wonder if this guy was solely for filing the appeal, or Sarah fucking fired him. I don't know. But it's this guy now who's in charge. So we'll see what happens. But he is now the appellate attorney. So we'll see what happens. We shall see. I'm sure Sarah's going to be nothing but a winner. She's going to be nothing but a winner, chat. Nothing but a winner. And that said, somebody who's another winner, Amanda Knox. Amanda Knox, guys. This is, if you guys remember, she was convicted of murdering her roommate in Italy and spent 4 years in prison. And then the case, she was convicted and then acquitted and then reconvicted and then acquitted. And it went back and forth and ping pong for years. And then she finally was allowed to return home to America. They finally acquitted her, but it was like such a fucking weird case. Once again, chat, do not get in trouble in a foreign country. It's fucking awful. Double jeopardy doesn't exist. All the things that happen here don't exist for us. They don't exist over there. And it's a fucking travesty if things happen. So Amanda was finally free and clear, except for she was facing one last case against her, a criminal case that carried a lot of jail time. And it was a case of criminal slander and defamation. So this is Amanda, if you've never seen her before. This is her here in 2024. She had to come back to Italy because we have extradition treaties. So they can demand her back and the U.S. will turn her over. So they upheld her slander conviction because she's accused of, because she was first convicted and then quitting, for accusing an innocent man in the case. Now, hopefully this puts an end to it, but it's lasted more than 17 years. Guys, if you don't remember Amanda Knox, it is 17 years old. Back in 2008, I was in college and I remember reading about this whole thing. It was fucking crazy. But it's gone through the Italian and the EU courts, and her 3-year prison sentence is still in effect, but she's not going to serve any more time because she already spent 4 years in prison from 2007 to 2011. So she basically got time served. The sentences are run concurrent. She's now 37. And she lives in Seattle. She wasn't present for the Thursday hearing. But her attorney said that she was disappointed. And yeah, it's bullshit. It's ridiculous. And this is 10 years after she got definitively acquitted. So remember, it took multiple times for it to get to the point of her being officially exonerated and officially acquitted. But yeah, in November 2007, she was arrested, and her boyfriend was at the time. Her roommate was found on the bed with her throat slashed. It was all fucked up, and she was initially convicted in 2009. So she sat in jail for 2 years, but was later acquitted on appeal. And she returned to the U.S. in 2011. And her case finally got thrown out in 2015 when it was thrown out because there was flimsy evidence and shitty detective work. Another guy was finally tried for the murder and was convicted. And he served 13 years of a 16-year sentence and was released in 2021. So isn't that kind of interesting? Like, they finally did it and they finally found that guy. Okay, cool. She's accused of slandering a different guy who's been accused of, his name is Dia Lumumba. And he is, ran a bar where Knox worked part-time, and she accused. She argued the police pressured her to, doing it after a night-long interrogation, during which she said she was slapped. And that doesn't surprise me. You don't have civil rights in Europe. The police will fuck you up. If you guys ever want to see something interesting, go on YouTube and look at the Polizei, like the German police, dealing with protesters. Oh, they don't fuck around. Or the Carabinieri, the Italian police, they will not fuck around, man. French police won't fuck around either. So he was arrested, held in prison for 2 weeks, and only released after one of his clients provided an alibi. Well, why? Amanda was wrongfully fucking held. Why is anybody going in trouble for her? Well, that's different. So she was found guilty of slandering him in 2009 and sentenced to 3 years in prison, and a conviction that was upheld. The EU courts determined she was deprived of legal assistance while being interrogated and violated a right to a fair trial. And they ordered Italy to pay her $21,000 in damages. The court also raised questions about her interpreter, and it sounds like the interpreter may have been involved in helping increase the pressure on her. And that's the thing. The interpreter is accused of basically helping the cops. So she had a new slander trial, and she was convicted again. And her appeal was rejected by whatever the fuck the pasta court did. So, yeah. So, and it's finally over for her, but it's ridiculous how long this went. Yeah, she got $21,000 for like 4 years in prison. Yeah. Rod says injustice in Perugia was my first foray into how fucked up a justice system can be. Oh yeah, guys, forget how messy this is. Yeah. Yep. Ghost says Italy's police like bitch slapping prisoners. Most police will. If there weren't laws against it here in America, the cops would be beating people. They used to beat confessions out of people. So, yeah, it's interesting what happened to her. It's interesting what happened to her. Kimbo's saying, talk about the 18-year-old black teen in the UK that got extradited to Saudi Arabia and convicted for sexting a 17-year-old white girl on vacation. I have not heard about that. I've not heard about that. Interesting. Where was Brian Koberger in 2008? And Brewberry's good to see you, saying people still legitimately think she was involved. Yeah, I know a lot of people still do. Russian police are the worst. Okay, I think it goes without saying getting caught by the Russian or Chinese police would be the absolute fucking worst. But I wouldn't really want to deal with the police in Western European countries in general, period, also. Wouldn't want to deal with them. Spet says, what about dual citizens? What about them? You know, they treat their own people, like they treat everybody shittily, not just the U.S. So, Zero Fuck says, who does this guy think he is? Destiny? Oh. The North Koreans wouldn't be good either. Yeah, but I think you can't really go to North Korea. It's really hard to do. And then Afton says, where is it they cane you? Singapore? Yes, Singapore still does corporal punishment in public. They will cane you. Famously, they caned an American for using spray paint and tagging some things. So, yeah, Singapore will cane the shit out of you. Yeah, be careful when you guys, when you're playing on someone else, you're playing on an away game. Got to be careful. But it is interesting what happened for her. She does have a podcast, Labyrinths. When I looked up this, when I was reading about the story, I did look it up. She does have like a podcast, and yeah, it sounded like it really fucked her up. You know, she wrote on this that she canceled a trip to Australia because she couldn't get a visa. And since she got back home, she's now got kids, and she's doing criminal justice reform. And she's trying to do a thing on Hulu, and I should probably watch that. It sounds like it'll be pretty good. Because of the accusation, this guy lost his business and he left Italy with his family. He now lives in Krakow. Lumumba, it sounds like he's like from Nigeria. I'm like, how's he fitting in Poland and Krakow? But anyways, he runs an import-export business, but he misses his life in Italy. He said he wants to put the case behind him too. And yes, and listen to these guys. They're saying, not only has Amanda Knox never apologized for falsely accusing him, she's never offered to make financial amends. Like, okay, well, yeah. She did say, I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough to resist the pressure of the police interrogation. So, yeah, but just guys remember, like, this shit is going around the world, man. The world is a scary fucking place, chat. World is a scary fucking place. So, Yamal says Italy violated my rights. Better do criminal justice reform in America. She's more pushing for a kind of like global criminal justice reform, from what I understand, not just America. But America still needs criminal justice reform very fucking badly. Very badly. Trey is saying Poland has a Nigerian community. That's just interesting. Aaron just said you're his champion for trial by Baldo. I'm sorry, what? You're breaking up. I can't hear you. What? Hold on. Chat, hold on. We're breaking up. I can't hear. What? Hold on. Sorry, Aaron. You're going to be I think Aaron said he's going to be the champion of the Baldo thing. I don't know. I couldn't hear it. Aaron's going to win? I mean, I guess. Put your money on Aaron, I guess, if you want to do that. Oh. Zaxarian says Nigeria is like hot Russia. Yes, but they also speak funny. Ha 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 ha. They speak English very funny. Their accents are great. You can chew gum in Singapore, you just can't spit it on the ground. Meme Copian said the world is getting better. Oh. American Legend says, you let Aaron in. Oh, God. My God. And then Eritrea is rated worse than North Korea for freedoms. Yeah, well, I mean, once you get to a certain level, it's all kind of shit anyway. So I'm not going to go hang out in fucking Eritrea. Not that I do that. So. That's that. Like I said, Chad, it's just one of those things that doesn't go away. These things never go away. Like, and it's just be thankful that we have what we have here, even though it's dog shit at times. Should be very thankful for it. How much time? What are we looking for in time here? All right, we are not going to get to the Arizona thing. Real quick, chat. I'd probably save this for a night to go over it. But basically, in Arizona, there is a law that when you are a defense attorney, you're wanting to talk to the victims in a criminal case, you have to reach out through the prosecution first for interviews. If you want to reach out to them, almost like they're the victim is the prosecutor's client, which it's not. The state of Ohio, the state of Arizona, the ethereal, the ethereal, that all of us together thing is your client. But no, in Arizona, apparently you have to go through the clients. The Ninth Circuit upheld that, but these lawyers kind of fucked up, and what the defense attorneys fucked up how they argued it. And we'll cover that another day, but I just thought it was very interesting what happened there. So, Debbie, real quick, is saying, do you know you have an ex impersonator with 1,000 followers? That's that's me. That is me. That was my original potentially criminal account, and I got nuked, and I had to move to the lifeboat, and the Lawtube Sean was the lifeboat, and then that just became the one. And then last year, sometime in 2024, I got reactivated. I kept appealing it, and finally Daddy Elon saved me and let me out of the gulag. So no, it's not my imposter. It's me. And maybe I'll just put something in the comments, guys. This is the lifeboat account. But yes, I do exist there. I do exist. It's my lifeboat account. So, KJ says, do you mean Chef Clyde? No, Chef Clyde is me. Bella says, so which damn X account do you want us to use? Use Lawtube Sean until that one gets nuked, and then use potentially criminal. So, like I said, you reported the second one for fraud, Lamau? No, it really is my thing. It's my thing. So yeah, I had a second one ready to go. I had to move to a lifeboat, and then I got the lifeboat back. The Staatspolizei will make you a star in their leather snuff film. Chef Clyde says nobody shall ever learn my true identity. Oh, such a good boy. He's so cute. He's got his chef hat on. Oh, Chef Clyde. Hold on, chat, 1 second. He doesn't want to come in right now. I thought we'd get him in here. See, we're trying to see if he was texting at the same time. Hunter Brooks says over on Rumble, says Aaron will be there, but will you participate? How can it be a Clash of the Titans without the GOAT? I'll bleach my eyes if I go. Yes. And then there are, oh my God, you guys in chat and Rumble, or I mean, locals. Oh my God, that's some really weird stuff out there. That's some really weird stuff right there. KLB says it says 300 people are watching it right now on X. I know, and I don't think that's real. There's always like Twitter ghost and bot accounts. So I need a sandwich review stream with Chef Clyde. Well, maybe next year for National Sandwich Day. But remember, I was appointed to be the sandwich guy by the law pope said I'm a sandwich guy. So on Sandwich Day, I covered sandwiches. So that was Clyde does gain of girth on both beans. Yeah. Do I get paid for those ghosts? No. Nope. Federal agent 47 for $2 Singaporean says the Kang Gang reporting in. Thank you so much. Oh yeah. Thank you. And then Tim Riggs been a member for 5 months. Thank you, Tim, for being here. He's been loving the coverage. Keep it degenerate, man. Well, I like to say we're not being degenerate here. We're just being good because being degenerate leads to some roads I don't want to go down. But I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the sentiment a lot. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the support. All right, guys. So the last thing we're going to talk about is just going to go over it real quick is the Nashville shooter. Not Nashville, but the shooter in Tennessee this week. Yes, he did bring Matthew Harris to life. And if you guys remember, we talked about this last week. Matthew Harris has been committed to a mental institution because he's, Matthew Harris has been committed to a mental institution. Why? Because he's fucking insane. He's literally crazy. And everybody agrees he's crazy. The prosecutors agreed he's crazy. His defense attorneys agreed he's crazy. The mental health people said he was crazy. And the judge is like, okay, so Matthew Harris is in the custody of the Attorney General of the United States. He's in federal custody awaiting time till he can be committed to a state mental hospital somewhere in America, which, remember, guys, when you're found NGRI, you're in a different hell than prison because mental hospitals are their own hell. And he's probably going to be there for a while. Hopefully he gets stabilized and can be out. But given how that all went, man, ooh, buddy. American Legend says, oh, well, maybe not take the drugs there. Well, that doesn't work. You could be forcibly medicated. So oh, yes. Free that man. Yes. Trump. Oh, no, that's what we need to do, chat. We need to do a letter writing campaign. Donald Trump, pardon Matthew Harris. Let him loose on the streets. Turn him loose. Let's see what happens. So we're going to get to the manifesto of this. This kid is a high school kid, and it's sad. I mean, he's of the age where Matthew Harris had schizophrenia. Really fucking bad. And for men, and like I mentioned this before, guys, especially women out there, if you don't know this, men from the age of 16, 17 till 30, really, when you get past your mid-20s, you're generally okay. But from 17 to 25 or so, that's like the hot spot for developing schizophrenia in men. That's like when it fucking happens. It generally happens in that little time frame. And then once you get to 30, you're safe until you're about 60 or so, and then you can get schizophrenia again. Very small amount, but you could still get again. There's 2 windows for men. So it's a potential issue. Kara says, both my uncles had schizophrenia. One ended himself at 16, never met him. Yeah, it's a thing, though. KLB says, stop. My son is 21. I don't want to hear this. Well, it is. That's the thing. Sergeant Dornan says, I'm 30. I'm golden. Yeah, no, it really, there are time windows for this stuff. And yeah, if you've made it, you've made it. So be very happy. Yes, let the letters flow to Trump. So what do we know? Well, he put together a diary, and this diary is 288 pages. And we're not going to read it, try to discern some intelligence out of this. He's a guy who's schizophrenic. He's like a Gen Z or a Gen Alpha type. And yes, we all speak through memes, and there's a bunch of memes and a bunch of insane shit here. And this is him just going through all of his shit. I heart racism. Oh, he likes Hitler. Very edgy boy, very edgy, very cute. This is all just, kind of like, what do I mean? Trump's right behind me. Yes. Unmedicated, unbreaded, and unmedicated. Touchdown, unmedicated. Anyways, he goes through all this. He's got some, Kurt Cobain memes out there. He's got some Pepe memes. He's got all kinds of memes, chat. He's got all kinds of memes. He's got all kinds of memes, chat. Got some Alex Jones memes. This is all great. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got a little bit of everything here. Just like a complete fucking lunatic. We'll just scroll to other parts here. A lot of anime, a lot of interesting drawings. He's just, he's got like Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook shooter, which I'm not saying Alex Jones didn't say it happened because he didn't say it didn't happen. I'm just between us. Ugh. The guy went for the highest scoring person out of Connecticut. And, he just it's just complete fucking insane fucking ramblings as they go here. So, and yes, the Durlwanger Division, the Durlwanger Brigade, one of the most based units in the Wehrmacht. Well, actually, more like the SS, but yeah, one of the more base boys out there. Originally comprised of poachers that were captured. So anyways, he's got also the guy who lighted himself on fire, Luigi. He's got St. Kyle doing his thing. He got a little bit of everybody. Got a little bit of everybody there. So we get from that and we move on to the black soy jack. And he is the involuntary Nibba, and he says, "The West has fallen, the billions must die. Accelerate, accelerate, accelerate." I mean, this almost sounds like you're reading Death of the West by it almost sounds like you're doing that, but it's not that bad yet. It's not Pat Buchanan exactly, but you kind of get the vibe he's doing this, a little Pat Buchanan out of it. Michelle says, "What was his shooting? He shot his high school. He killed one, injured one, and then, his ticket got punched by the police." So, is this the manifesto or a locals chat? Yes, the West is best, baby. It is. The West is the best. Are you telling me this king was a virgin? Yeah. I thought he punched his ticket too, but he might have been. I don't know. Anyways, this guy clearly was influenced by Matthew Harris. And he goes on and on and on and on and on. He says this book is dedicated to Matthew Copeson Harris's eternal globalitarian takeover. He says, "Death to all my enemies." This book is dedicated to Matthew Copeson Harris's dominance. He says, "It is the culture. It is the culture. It is the culture." Just like we learned in the Nikolai Mew trial. For the culture, chat. For the culture. For the culture. But yes. He's not a friend of anybody. He does pretty good about going through everyone. He doesn't like the Jews, which isn't a surprise. He doesn't like the Jews. He does talk about Brennan Tarrant. You can still find his debut performance online if you look for it. But yes, the best 16 and a half minutes of pure gameplay. He goes for the high score, chat. He does pretty good. This is all just it's just fucking ramblings. It's just ramblings. But yes, this is our boy here. This is our boy. He is, this is him. This is him, chat. So, he talks about, how tough it's been. It's rough. And yeah, it just goes through everything he's done here. And yeah, it's funny to read. It's funny to read, but this is a kid who had a lot of fucking mental health issues. He's like, what's your political ideology? He's like, I have none. I only support rape. Like, I mean, clearly he's fucking around. He's shit. This is him making also his most glorious shit post ever. He is going out shit posting. And that's how you can tell he's just shit posting like a boss. And he says, why did you do this? For your enjoyment. This is my gift to you after years of Fed posting. Wasting years of griefing, yelling at the top of my lungs, and voicemails to faggot streamers. Well, see, I'm not going to lie, but screaming the N-word to a bunch of faggot streamers is not necessarily a bad thing. There are worse ways to waste your days, chat. Sometimes that is a noble endeavor. So he does go through things here. He does do a lot. He does talk about, but attacking federal buildings are hard. Yes. But you got to try, chat. You got to try. You have to practice. You got to get your skill set up. So he goes through and he talks about all the people that influenced him. And this is where some of this is shit posting, but he's also kind of like Brendan Tarrant. Like, they have these schizophrenic political ideologies where it goes all over the place. Like Candace Owens, Ethan Ralph, Nick Fuentes, Turkey Tom, Ruben Sim, Mr. Beast, Cobes and Talks, Wayne Lambright, iDubbbz, Destiny, and Hassan Piker. Hassan Parker. Maybe that's the non-Turk Roach version of Hassan in a different dimension. Hassan, who's not a Turk tool. It's Hassan Parker, maybe. So anyways, he talks about all this. What did he do? He played games like, see, this is the sad part. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Really, homie? That's fucking sad. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. How gay can you get? 1.5 or nothing. Manhunt. I will say Manhunt is a dope fucking video game. A video game that's banned in a lot of places in the world. It's banned a lot of places. It's sad because it is a very good game. It's based as fuck. Augusto Pinochet says CS Source is the best Counter-Strike. No. 1.5 was the pinnacle. But I mean, if you go to like 1.0 when you're like old school fucking graphics, that was the good shit. So, yes, he's a bit of a poser here. Postal, nothing wrong with Postal. Gotta love Postal. Doom, nothing wrong with Doom. Love Doom. Skylanders and Mega Chud. Hearts of Iron. I don't see this kid playing Hearts of Iron 4. I really don't see him playing Hearts of Iron. I really don't see it. And then the Moriyama middle school shooter. They have mentally prepared me for murder. Here's my Steam account if you guys want to play in the afterlife. I wonder if he's got squad. Actually, I don't want to play squad with him, but probably just team kill everybody. So, but yeah, this is him, Doomsday Prepper. As you go through it, this is him. Do you have any Reddit groups that are backing you, the Markiplier Reddit? Like I said, chat, this is all just shit talking. I do love his comment, "Are you a black supremacist?" And he says, no, I would be if niggers weren't so fucking retarded and could work on something together. And he wants TND, chat. He wants some TND. So, yeah, so there you go. This is the whole thing here. I do like it how he says, although cops serve the elite, many of them are of decent character, and it make me very upset if I killed one. Yeah, he's not radicalized enough, chat. Look at this casual. He's not upset. This casual here. Look at him. Look at this little girl. Oh, I feel bad if I shot him. It's like, I guess you weren't radicalized enough, homie. You weren't radicalized enough. He says, but you'll only know if I did. It's like, oh. Fallen Preacher says the new game will be Manhunter, starring Nick Fuentes. Yes. Oh, chat. Anyways, keep going through here. Yeah, anyways, he talks about, I love the memes he uses in this. He does so good. Do you have any ties to partisans, freedom fighters, martyrs, or other cleaners? Daniel Larson, like I said, this guy's just straight up fucking jerking us around here. At this point, Charles Whitman, all the Saint Luigi, Nicholas Mangione, like, yeah. What do you encourage others to do? Make plans, train, get equipped, and then act. Well, there you go. A live stream or GoPro will show what it feels like. Yes, very true. At this point, the propaganda of your action is as important as defusing 51 bombs in Christchurch, because though your live stream, you can sleep soundly knowing you've created 5 more for next season. So he's got all this stuff. Anyway, he says the layout of his high school. He talks about his gear. He's got a set of lockpicks. Very snazzy. Very snazzy. Got a Taurus. Of course he'd be of course he'd use a Taurus, chat. Of course he'd be a Taurus. Because, yeah, anyways. He does like to fuck gun control. Yep. He uses an airsoft milsim loadout. Yeah, it's like, okay. I love how he's telling people, like, buy some earplugs, buy some earmuffs, and then buy some hops number 9 to clean your guns with. And he also says, get a wheeler, hammer, and punch set. Actually, not a bad idea. Having a good punch set is around if you're going to be serious about owning firearms. You will need them. He doesn't talk about having a vice block, though. He does show a bunch of guns. Yeah, a bunch of guns. He does talk about all the people he's doing it for. Oscar, well, the sad thing is he doesn't know who these people are. Oscar Derlwanger. Oscar was the name of the leader of that task force, that Kampf group. Okay? That's who that was. Timothy McVeigh. Shout out to the OGs, chat. MK Ultra victims. Chud. It's the Merrimuts first. Philip Ludi, the homemade machine gun man himself. Uncle Marv. Ruby Ridge, Waco. He's hitting them all up. Daniel Harris. He's going for everybody, chat. You will never be a woman. Total tranny death. Total kike death. The Groypers, the Kali Yuga. Nick Fuentes, chat. Nick Fuentes, he's going for everybody. He's everybody. Everybody, chat. He's remembering us all. What's his advice? Don't join anything Waffen or Division. It's a glowy honeypot. Yes. If you're going to do research, don't half-ass it. Actually train with weapons. Well, he didn't do a good job. He fucked up. He only killed one person. Why, whatever. But he is true. You're being watched ever more. Yes, you're always under surveillance. We talk about that, chat. So there you go. And he also shout out to the farms. He does talk about the Call to Arms by Sharad Krashik. He does it for everybody. So, and he just goes through all of it. Shout out to the Soy Jack Party. So that's really kind of it there. No Lee Harvey Oswald shout out. Yeah, it's these Zoomers, man. It is very try-hardy. It's very try-hard. There's times where he's getting it, but it's like, homie. I'd like to take him under my arm and be like, little homie, you're getting it, but you're just, it's gotta be organic. It's gotta flow from inside you. He also needs a little bit better at history there. So, yes, the guy included a bibliography, which is good, chat. Works cited. Works cited are very important. So, he didn't kill anyone. The feds killed 2 people. That's a shame. Says, where can we see the doc? If you go on the farms right now, you could download it. The farms registration's been disabled, but they are allowing people to go see the docs because they've been getting pulled out. But you can go on the farms and look for it. Why didn't he cite Gavril Princip? I don't know, because he's not a big history buff. So, yeah. But with that said, chat, we are all done for the night. We are done before 2 hours and 30 minutes. Look at that. Look at that, chat. We still have 30 seconds to go. We got it done. Colostomy Bag says, if you're schizo, you're always in a group home. Oh, yeah. That's a very true. Unhung Hero says 18 to 27 is the window where a lot of mental illness can develop in men in period. Yeah, that's true as well. But schizophrenia is really the big one because that's kind of like, You know, that's the fucking worst, I would argue. So, Debbie O says CNN was supposed to have a couple hundred layoffs today, but I never heard the details. Yes, CNN is laying off people. They're realizing, like, after, you know, it's like the fucking election season's over and they're like hurting, so they're letting a bunch of people go. Jim Acosta has been moved to the midnight slot to suffer. So, yeah, CNN is they're reaping the whirlwind at this point. Fart Elemental says a lawyer friend of mine got busted for assault and obstruction when she thought 3 cops and an EMT and bit one of them. What kind of punishment would the bar do to her? It all depends. I mean, they probably would have her go sit through like a drug and alcohol or mental health evaluation to make sure she's okay. And if she is, she might get like a temporary suspension of her license. They won't take her ticket, but I can see her being on like a probationary status too. Like that happens a lot. But yeah, I mean, there's a concern she's lost her shit if she did that. So hopefully your friend's fine. Nate Matthews says Turkey Tom is racking the L's. Oh yeah. Yep. Turkey Tom is, you know, I mean, they're all, well, he's sweeping, man. Sweeping for destiny right now. So, Ethan Ralph said, and you got felted, says Ethan Ralph Lamau. Yes. Drew M has been a member for 14 months, says Lamau, Wayne Lambright. Yeah. I know. There's some times there where I'm like, I don't think he was really that eclectic. He wasn't really a denizen of the internet. I think he was kind of Googling shit and kind of run across names, but he really wasn't an internet person as much as he'd like to think he is. He was a fucking casual, is what he was. Sad Clown says, lol, iDubbbz radicalized him. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, radicalized. Well, you know what? I get radicalized too if I watched Anissa too much. I want to start killing people. Zaxarian says Hassan couldn't find Pakistan on a map. Very true. Very true. That's a shame, says, think how intelligible this document would be to normies. Yeah, it's like a second language to us. How does that make you feel, chat? Well, that just helps that you speak the language. You speak in the memes. You understand memes. This guy tried really hard, but you understand, you know, speaking. This is the language that we have, and it's kind of like meta-modernism. It's almost like, or more like meta-modernism. That instead of, you know, being literal, it's all about being figurative. And sometimes you are literal, but then you use jokes and memes and you know, that there's so much to it. It's a whole, there's like a whole new shift at this point. That's why Fukuyama is wrong. There is no end of history. That's just bitches who want to stay on top, try to claim it. So, but yes, thank you. That's a shame. I appreciate it. And then Mofolk says, so he's a confirmed Spurg, aside from what could be gleaned. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a Spurg of some sort. So there we go. There we go, chat. We are all done. And oh my God, what are you guys talking like with the amputee stuff over in locals? Jesus Christ. This is so awful. Zero Fucks is saying, I have a gay parting question. Okay. What about state crimes when pardons circumvent the fifth? No, I mean, if you were charged with a state crime and you had state crime liability, you could always assert the Fifth Amendment. But like somebody like Mark Milley, like, you know, what state would charge him with treason? So like that would be really the big thing, or cooperating with an enemy force or something like that. You know, for Fauci, like you'd have to have an analogous state level crime. He couldn't just say I'm asserting it because the state might come after me. If Congress or the government can prove that that's not true, or they might go out and get immunity grants they might go to a bunch of these states where, oh, what state do you think is going to sue? State's going to charge you. And Fauci can say, oh, I think the state of Virginia. They go to the state of Virginia and get an immunity grant and like, sorry, you got immunity from them. Talk, motherfucker. So you can see that happening. Billions must meme. Yes, very true. Billions must meme. So, Kimbo says, stop slandering Spurgs by including a Fed with them. Yes, true. All right, chat. So that is, I think we're all caught up here. We are all caught up, guys. Yes, thank you for being here. Episode 150. Like I said, chat, we have a couple of weeks until we get to the anniversary. It's in February. So that'll be a fun day. We'll have a fun time. We'll have a celebration. Am I doing a model stream? No, chat. Why would we do that? We got to go to locals next. So we can't do a model stream. Remember, potentially criminal locals, potentiallycriminal.locals.com. Oh, before we go, I got to go grab something. I'll be right back. We got some gifts we got to do. I got to go grab them. Okay, chat. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Here we go. This one came in a box, and it's a box and a bag. I don't think there's any note with it. If you guys send me stuff, put a note in there so I can say who to say thank you to. So this is. Ooh, cool. It's a Trump getting shot statue. Neato. Very nice. Very nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there's no notes for it. So maybe there's a note in here. I don't know. Or maybe it's going to explode. That'd be pretty keno for the internet. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh. So, wow. Cool. Guys, whoever got me this, thank you very much. I'll show him to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll put him up. He'll have a place of honor back there. Then maybe because the cardboard one's starting to falter. He's starting to collapse and not staying up too long. So, guys, whoever got that for me, thank you. But please leave Amberster saying, I saw you mention this earlier. I didn't get a chance to comment on it. Did I see the Trump acting AG is going to meet the judge that blocked the birthright citizenship order and even mention how he could technically dismiss them? No, but yeah, I think there's going to be ways. I don't know how well it's going to work. I know John Eastman made arguments about getting around birthright citizenship. So we'll see if that happens. Not really too sure. Yeah, there's nothing under the box. I checked the bag. So, who keeps sending you things without notes? Seem very Fed-like. Yes. Then we have another thing here, chat. We have a box. What's in the box? I don't know yet. So we're going to check what's in the box. Hold on here. Hold on, chat. So there we go. There's Anna Kasparian. Oh, okay. What is this? Oh. They are light up suspenders and an LED bow tie. Well, thank you. I'll have to take a look at these. I have a feeling they're not gonna. I don't know if they're meant for my kind of weight limit. Like these suspenders are gonna be like, I can't hold. Oh! Cut loose like a freaking cable on a ship or something. I'll take a look at them though. Whoever got that for me, thank you so much. But I will take a look at these and see if they actually can work for me. Or at least we'll try to set them up so I can wear them one night on stream. Thank you very much. Should we be concerned for your safety? Nah, that's what I got guns for. Besides, if I kill someone, you know how dope that those streams will be when we're talking about all the bodies? The suspenders are made out of sandwiches. Yeah. All right. Well, chat, that is it. I wanted to make sure we didn't forget that. Clyde, I don't know where Clyde's at right now. I know 2.0 is she's in the middle of something. I think he's with her, so he's not coming out, chat. We will have I don't know. We'll see if I can get him real quick again. Nah, I don't know. No, he's done for the night, it looks like. So Clyde's hiding from the beatings. Yeah, 2.0 is just beating him all the time. So Acted for it says my boy gave me my mom gave my boy the black on black MAGA hat. Oh, those are neat. Like the Enrique Tarrio hat, those are pretty cool. But I still like the red one. The red one works. Rusty says, let's watch some ice raids. Well, if you want to watch some ice raids, come meet us over on potentiallycriminal.locals.com. We'll be doing that tonight. There's even an immigration attorney in Connecticut that got raided by HSI and the feds. So interesting. So with that said, chat, thank you to everybody being here. 150 episodes, chat. Fuck. I remember at the first when I started doing these, I was like, oh my God, it's like, this is like hopeless. It's going to take forever. And there were times at the beginning where it felt like a chore, but now it's like, it's on my calendar. It's been set in my calendar forever at this point. It's so much fun. So much fun. And I thank you guys all for being here. It's so neat. And I appreciate it so much. I really don't think you guys understand from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate this. Let me see here. You guys want to go to, like, is Hayden on right now? You guys are saying you want to go to Hayden. I don't see him there. So I don't know what you're talking about. I understand you guys might just be like shit posting, but here's 150 more. That'll be fun. Hopefully by the time we're doing that, we're doing a little better on things, like a little bit better numbers wise and stuff. MG Law's on. I'll probably send them over to you guys there. Locals cost money to use, Earl. The code isn't working. Pardon is not working. Hold on here. It should be working. I just set it up. So the one thing I hate about fucking locals, it is so much a pain in the dick to use when you're trying to set things up. For things like for people, and you're trying to help people out. Pardon should work. Try Pardon. Let me know. It says expired for Pardon. Well, if you've already done it, you know what? So here's what we'll do, chat. Tonight we'll do the stream tonight. We're not gonna paywall it. It'll be for everybody. So come over to Locals for free. We'll hang out. We'll watch the attorney get raided, and we'll hang out tonight. You do not have to be a member tonight to watch. We'll all hang out and have a great time. How about that, chat? And then I'll figure out the promo code stuff this weekend. Unlike law student says, nope, just added you. Well, thank you. So we're gonna have fun. DC judge blocked that code. Yeah, Hawaii judge said no. So, all right, chat. Potentiallycriminal.locals.com will be there. Thank you, everybody, on Twitter, on Rumble, and here on YouTube. Just remember till next time, chat. Make the promo code in honor of Ivan. Maybe I will. Oh, fuck, that's a good idea. But remember till next time, chat. Just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Does not mean you're guilty, chat. It does not. Did I get it? Don't tell me I got it. Don't play games with my heart, chat. Well, don't play games with my heart. That is not fun. Don't you do that. Let me see here. Tell me. Oh no, we're not close. We're 24,928. We got a ways to go, chat. We got a ways to go. Oof. Put the fries in the bag, Sean. Yeah. Put the fries in the bag, fat man. I'll probably eat them before they go in the bag. So anyways, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. especially if you get a pardon. Then you get to go like this to everybody. So have a great night, chat, and take care, everybody. Good night. I'll see you guys over at Locals.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the